The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93
I hate video games now because they make you do the work. You have to either play guitar or drums or Dance Dance Revolution. Didn't we invent video games so that we could control some other little idiot doing all the hard stuff? Right? When we were kids, we didn't have to lift up a barrel over our head. We outsourced that job to Donkey Kong. That's his deal now.
Attention gamers.
What was that all about?
Hey, you said you love video games.
Yes, video games. Today is National Video Game Day.
Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty,
Mortal Kombat, Mario Brothers,
Sonic the Hedgehog.
whatever your poison.
Oh, a lot of you are pretty hardcore about video games.
Happy National Video Game Day.
Ready?
Ready.
Welcome to the show.
Christ.
What happened?
It's National Video Game Day, Josh, and we're surrounded by video game dorks. We might not make it out of here alive.
Did they show up to work today?
We might not make it out of here alive, Cubby.
We're leaving at 9:01 though.
Yeah.
Second show's over, we're out the door to
That
go
is
play.
true. The three of you are really into video games.
We really are.
What a hell of a deal, and welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. She's a Tuesday, and we hope all is well. Yeah, I was just finger-banging the internet here, looking up this and that about video games ever since I found out through Cubby's intro there that today was National Video Game Day. Are the three of you really planning on just busting out of here? Why? Do you got to get to a new game? Is there a new game you're all playing?
Oh, don't even get me started on a new game.
Oh, is it a new game or some new DLC, as they call it in the business?
Look at you with the lingo. It's a new game. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, dude, yeah, I downloaded that because of you. I like it, but not as much as you do, that's for sure.
It is so much fun.
Hang on a second now.
You're a dark son of a bitch when it comes to video games.
My girlfriend was the one that got me into this game, and I was like, God, they're going to bring it up on the radio sometime, and they're going to be like, okay, The Sims, and now you're actually playing a murder game?
Yeah.
Your
It's a
girlfriend
fun
is,
game.
she's turned me on to some things too, but let's stick with the topic of video games. That interests me, Wapple, because I'm a fan of that movie franchise, the Texas Chainsaw by Damn Massacre. So I didn't think this was going to happen, but tell me more. Tell me more about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game. Who are you? Are you Leatherface?
You can be Leatherface.
Oh, Cubby.
You could be Leatherface. You could be this guy called the Hitchhiker. You could be Sissy.
Oh, the hitchhiker, the dude who cuts his hand open in the van. Are all of you familiar with the actual movies?
Yes.
See, I didn't really I didn't really watch the movie too much.
Oh, you got to watch the first one. You got to watch the first, especially a gal like you who's into all this dark stuff and Halloween and this. What's the show that's coming to town at the mall? You're going to be starring in.
I can't wait for American
yeah.
Monsters, Onion Head's Revenge.
Yeah,
I bought my
so
tickets.
Cool. I'm so excited for it.
You should.
Now that I think about it, nobody's paid me back for those. I bought 8 tickets and nobody's paid me back yet. I should write that down.
Yeah, I might want to make a note
I'm
of
glad
that.
this came up.
You have some phone calls to make, Josh.
No kidding.
You didn't buy me a ticket, did you?
Well, I didn't think you'd want to go. Would you like to go? I'll buy you one.
I don't want to go.
Yeah, I didn't think you would. It's in Bloomington. You're not coming to Bloomington.
No, hell no. I hate Bloomington. You've never seen the original Texas Chainsaw.
No.
Okay, you should do that. So in the video game, Wapple, you can choose to be good guys, bad guys. It's horribly violent.
Yes.
Are you making lamps out of people and whatnot?
So what you do is you play. It's all online. So you have 3 people who are part of the family. So they're the people that are the killers.
I'm aware of the family.
And then you have 4 people who are victims. And they start in the basement of the house. And you have to get out of these restraints, and you have to, get an unlock tool. You have to unlock these doors, and then you go up in the house.
And you try to get away from the family.
Yeah, exactly. There's, 3 areas you have to try to escape while the family's running around trying to find you and kill you.
Is it more violent than the new Mortal Kombat?
No. That's
not
unbelievably violent.
That I remember when that came out, we were talking about how some of the creators, they had to watch all this real life gore to try and make it more realistic, and some of them had to go to therapy afterwards.
That
They were so
game is
disturbed.
awesome. It's so much blood.
I remember having that conversation. That sounds very, very dark and disturbing. So you really, honestly, lately, Wapple, you're hooked on this game. You can't wait to get out of here, not only on National Video Game Day, but on any day to get back to your Texas Chainsaw video game.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm a decent level up. I'm like a 33, which is kind of embarrassing.
What does that mean?
Like, you level up your characters and stuff like that, so you progress through the game. So my overall level is like a 33. And then there's these people who are like 82 last week.
Oh, so you're playing against other people?
Yes. And
F me.
Yeah, so that's who you're either teamed up with 2 other people who are going to help you kill people, or you go against 4 other people who try to escape. And you can also be a victim, so you can try to escape too.
That game was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, Wobble.
very hard.
I'll give you that. Like when I started playing, I was like, okay, this will be easy.
No.
Like just a dumb little game, but no.
Being a Texas, yes, Josh.
I was just going to say, the community of some of those games, I get a little, the FOMO, right? Because a couple of my buddies will be like, yeah, I got an event planned tonight. All of the guys play. What does he play? Diablo, I think it is.
Oh yeah, Diablo 4.
Yeah, so he's playing that with guys, and he's got his buddies. I mean, I think he just knows them from the game. But that's
awesome.
like a social event they have.
Here.
And you don't have to leave the house. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's right. I can't believe you haven't gotten into something like that. I feel like that's right up your alley, Josh.
I don't know why. I don't get into games anymore like I used to, other than Madden. I'll go through phases where I play a lot of Madden, and then that's about it.
Being a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, one more question on the video game, Wapple. Does Grandpa make an appearance?
I think so. Yes.
Grandpa?
Yeah, you can't wake him up, right?
You have to feed Grandpa blood.
Yeah,
Oh,
So
gross.
You have to feed Grandpa blood, and then he sends out like a sonar. And if you feed him so much blood, then like the sonar's constantly on, so you can find the victims.
Get her, Grandpa!
You know, a lot of people are texting me saying Starfield is where it's at. And Big Rig Fenders Jesus is going to celebrate today with Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield. Do you guys play either of those games?
No.
I don't
I've
play
never
much
played
new stuff.
Starfield.
By far, via text, Starfield, people are saying that's the game.
Actually, did Starfield just come out? I believe that's from Bethesda. Those are the same people that make my favorite game, Skyrim.
Hit her,
That's
Grandpa.
cool. I'm going to have to check that out.
Wapple, in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, can you play as Jessica Biel in a white tank top from the 2003 version of the movie?
No.
That's
But
unfortunate.
hopefully they'll have like a DLC, Josh, where you can get that.
If there's some Jessica Biel DLC content for that game, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I couldn't watch
I don't know
if it was the last, but that one I couldn't finish that movie.
That was a great edition of Texas Chainsaw.
There was a scene in there I thought, okay, this isn't for me.
You know,
Do you guys remember when we had Chris Cluey in?
what?
Yeah.
Yes.
This
remember?
game, he was talking about Starfield a lot. The game that people are texting in about.
Oh, that's right.
Well, I was cruising around the internet, like I told you. Bumped into a website called Den of Geek.
That's a good site.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they have some fun articles on that.
You're
for
familiar with that?
Yep.
And they threw this together for you: the 20 best years in video game history, ranked. And what they mean by that is the years that happened to dump the best video games on us all at once, the years that featured the most quality games. The number of quality games released in a given year was the biggest determining factor, obviously. The more great games released in a particular year, the higher the ranking. I just wanted to throw some of this at you because some of you are total dorks.
The 80s ones, for me, resonate the most. I mean, that's when I was, really into video games. Late 80s, very early 90s.
I'll just tell you this. The number one overall year for video game releases, considering the quality of the games, they say here was the year 2000 plus 4, and the notable games that were dumped: Halo Part 2, Half-Life Part 2, Metroid Prime 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, World of Warcraft, Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, and something called Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2.
That is a killer list right there.
Halo 2 was a big deal for me. That was like one of the first games that I really, really got into.
Half of my dorm flunked out of college at St. Cloud State because of Halo 2. They physically could not leave their room to bother even going to the bathroom, let alone go to class because of Halo 2.
I haven't played it in a couple of years. Like, they obviously have come out with a bunch of other ones now, but I got into it like last week, Halo Infinite, the campaign mode, and I'm addicted again. I'm screwed.
I love that for you.
All right, Cubby, since you dig the 80s, and then from here on out, as I was perusing this list, I just tried to pick out some years that might grab one or two of you, some games that might grab one or two of you. Josh, you were into the 80s vibe.
Yeah,
back when
85 and 87.
I was going to say
Good
85 and 87. Those were my two guesses.
At number 18, I don't think I highlighted 85. Someone can look that up if you want.
Well, yeah, I've got it. Super Mario Brothers, Gauntlet, Ghosts and Goblins, The Oregon Trail.
So you remember all of those?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Gauntlet. I used to play the heck out of Gauntlet. Well, obviously Super Mario Brothers.
It's iconic.
Really like Gauntlet. And The Oregon Trail is the last game well, it's the one and only game I ever kept spending money on. I'd never done that before. And I'd mentioned it, and I was embarrassed to say how much I spent, but people text in saying that's absolutely nothing. I mean, I was over $300 within a week. And so I just decided, okay, I got to stop this. It was on my phone.
Yeah,
It was on my phone. 300 and some bucks.
In a week?
In a week.
Playing a game from 1985?
No, it was more recent than that. It was on my cell phone. And that's the only game I've ever sunk a bunch of money in, outside of, purchasing it in the first place.
1987 made the ranking, made the list, the games that came out in 87. And one of them grabbed me, and that was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I played that until I finally beat Mike Tyson, and that was a big moment in my life. Yep. The other games that I've heard you guys talk about out loud, that came out in 87. Contra.
Loved it.
Up, down, left, right, B, A, select, start.
The Contra code.
Mm-hmm. I had it engraved in the inside of my wedding ring.
I'm sorry?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I love you
You
so
had
much.
what engraved into the inside of your wedding ring?
The Contra code.
What is the Contra code?
Up, down, left, right,
No.
right.
What does it mean?
It gave you 30 lives to start the game. It's also known as the Konami code for a bunch of Konami games. That code did things for you in each game.
You had it engraved into your wedding ring.
Mm-hmm.
You're so cool.
I think it was the Konami code.
You're so cool.
That's sweet. I love that.
I think it was the Konami code they put in the show Twisted Metal. Wapple, did you finish Twisted Metal?
Yes.
That was very good. Mm-hmm. Remember when he was driving? Didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he say that? Or maybe it was a different code.
I know it was a code in Twisted Metal, but I don't know if it was a code that Dana has.
It might not be the Konami code.
Yeah,
Okay. I
so,
wish I could remember.
Yeah.
Oh no, I just googled it. It looks like they did bring it up. It was an Easter egg they called it.
Was it it was the Konami
it was
code?
The Konami code. Yep.
Okay.
The other games that came out in 87, Mega Man.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm. Final Fantasy, Double Dragon. I remember
Loved Double Dragon.
I remember playing that at Medina Ballroom in high school in the arcade. Metal Gear.
Oh boy, that was when two franchises started. Metal Gear Solid became such a big franchise, and then even Final Fantasy's still rolling.
Yeah, it's still massive to this day.
As I was cruising this list of the top 20 most prolific years for video games, I also was on the lookout for ridiculous game titles, and then I was let down. Video game titles are so serious sounding, right? It's, everything sounds so grand but I found one silly game title. I was hoping you could tell me what was happening in the year 2010 when a game came out called Super Meat Boy. Anybody?
I feel like I've heard of it.
So you feel like you've heard of it?
Yeah.
Super Meat Boy.
I don't know that one.
Is this a kid in a butcher shop? Or
I have no clue what this is.
Okay, fair enough. In 86, there was Metroid, Dragon Quest, The Legend of Zelda, Castlevania, Kid Icarus, and Outrun.
Awesome year as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, I set aside 1997 because that's when GoldenEye 007 was released, and that's still...
You loved that one.
I love that friggin' thing. Yes?
I just downloaded that not too long ago, and me and the boyfriend were playing it, and I remember it being like a lot more detailed than it is now. It's crazy playing like such an old game.
Yeah, it's
especially
kind of
when you're used to all the games you play.
Oh yeah, and
It's
he was
very blocky.
murdering me. He got the golden gun, and I was screwed.
Yeah, one shot, you're dead.
the graphics are garbage compared to what you see today. Also in 97, Mario Kart 64 came out. Was that the original Mario Kart?
That was the second one. The original came out, I think, in 94 or 95 on the Super Nintendo, but that's the one that really made Mario Kart what it is today.
Yep, that's the one I got into the most.
I pushed aside the year 2000 plus 11 so I could throw a couple games your way. One would be Skyrim. Now, I don't know if I told you, Josh knows this. A friend of mine got hired to help design the game Skyrim. He got a rim job. What? And then I've heard you guys talk up and down about Minecraft. What's that?
I never played it. I mean, my youngest. It's like a kind of more of a kid game, from what I understand.
Oh, maybe I'm mistaking that for something else.
But I mean, that's like one of the biggest games ever.
It's a huge game. It's the highest selling game of all time.
Oh, it's the highest selling. So I did bring it up for a reason. It sounded familiar. 2005, Guitar Hero.
That was fun.
Came out. That was one of
that one.
I used to have a friend that would hustle people at parties. He'd be like, "All right, so what do I do here?" So he picks it up and he kind of acts like he doesn't know what he's doing. And then he's like, "Well, I'll try this song on." He puts on hard mode. They're like, "No, you do." He goes, "All right, well, let me just give it a shot here." And then he would just wail away at it because he was an expert at it.
Guitar Hero, yeah. So 2005, when Guitar Hero came out, that makes the top 10 of the most prolific years in video game history. I already deleted the other games.
God of War would be another real big one from that year.
Okay.
Oh, and Call of Duty. Wasn't that Call of Duty 2?
It didn't say on the list.
I think that's when Call of Duty 2 came out. That was massive,
that's
too.
huge.
I was excited for Guitar Hero, but it only had me for about an hour and a half, and then I never touched it again.
Yeah, you're right, Wapple. Call of Duty 2 was 2005.
Yeah, that was massive.
In the year 2000, and we don't need to get into the serial killer side that we all know exists deep down in the heart of Wapple. But in the year 2000, I guess, is when The Sims first showed up, and you've been killing Sims characters violently ever since.
Yeah, but then my favorite game of all time from N64, WWF No Mercy.
Oh, that game was so good,
It was
Waffle.
so much fun.
I have
that game was
never
great.
played WWF No Mercy, but I hear you guys talk. What was the video game that we starred in, Josh?
Grand Theft Auto 4. I don't know what to say. Starred in, and then was it Vice City?
I don't know.
There was two relatively short.
Yeah, Vice City was the one that was kind
Vice
of
City
themed in
Stories?
Miami. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. 2000 plus 7, Rock Band. I remember having that in the building and playing a little bit of Rock Band, and then never...
Yeah, that was cool. We had it right outside the studio here for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we played a Rolling Stones song or something, and then we never touched it again. We actually had a crowd gather to watch us. It was the weirdest thing.
How slow of a day
That
was
is
at the
weird.
station that day?
Well, everyone knew we had this new...
You got hours to fill, 9 to 5.
That's a good point.
this new... how should I say it?
It was kind of revolutionary at the time.
That's the word.
Yeah, it was.
A revolutionary new video game was in the building, and we had a big TV set up. And God help us, Cubby, I want to say that we sat down and played Beast of Burden or
Beast,
something.
that's what it was.
What was it, really?
I'm pretty sure it was Beast of Burden, yeah.
Beast of Burden by the Rolling Stones. So what a hell of a day today for you gamers.
I won't be able to play video games for a while because of the whole moving thing. That happens this week.
What?
Oh, you got to move this week?
Yep, I'm moving on Thursday to the Coon Rapids house finally.
The first thing I did when I moved was get internet. That was the first thing that was put into the house.
Dude, that's so smart.
So you play often enough to where you're concerned about having to take 2-3 days off to move?
I just got back into, I just started playing a couple games pretty heavily. So I go through
right.
spurts. Yeah. It gets out of hand for a couple weeks, then I rein it in.
You guys are nuts.
The key would be single-player games that you don't need to go online.
Yep, that's smart. I should get the Starfield game.
There you go.
I'm going to friggin' look up this Texas Chainsaw video game. You play it on your cell phone?
No, you play it on PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC.
Oh.
But right now, PC is not cross-platform. They took them off from playing with PlayStation and Xbox because they're cheating too
You
much.
lost him along about like 4 or 5
Really?
sentences ago.
You know my motto.
But he can play it on a computer.
PC's hacking it.
If it's not cross-plat, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know if I don't think I have any video game systems anymore.
Well, you've got a computer, so you can play it on there.
Yeah, I do. Okay. Because I love that series. And now that you tell me that Grandpa's in the damn thing.
Yeah, he just kind of sits in a chair and you feed him blood. And
Well,
he's like,
yeah, he can't.
He does make a lot of noises.
Yeah, he does.
Remember in the original movie where he keeps like trying to hit that lady in the head with a hammer?
He has the hammer.
He has a hammer in his hand in the video game.
Is there an easy mode though for someone like Nick who doesn't play very often?
God, no.
There's
not even an easy mode?
God, no, because you play against people online.
Oh.
It's just an online game.
Oh, so
you'd be murdered so fast.
Oh, he would not make it very far. He would end up dying in one of the coolers.
What if
hiding
I
there for too
email
long.
everybody and say, look, I'm new, take it easy on a player?
You could
Can't I
turn
send
the
out
mic
some
on.
emails?
Yeah, you could chat with them in the pregame lobby. You could be like, hey, take it easy on me. And then people will be like, shut up, Anna, I'm going to kill you.
So,
yeah, they
yeah,
would do
he'll
the
be a
complete
target.
opposite. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's not like groups that you can join for whatever level you're at?
I mean, they're trying to get it where it's level-based, where you play more with your level. But, I mean, sometimes you're playing with like an 85 and the dude's a level 2.
What if I have a hilarious, what do they call it in the business? What if I have
gamer tag?
Yeah, what if I have a hilarious gamer tag? Will they give me a break?
That would help.
Oh my gosh, I'm watching video of
and
this.
Smoking weed would help too.
This game is very violent, Wapple.
And he led with that.
You could get DLCs, Josh, where you get extra executions.
I'm going to go with my gamer tag's going to be loves to bump 6969.
That might be taken.
The Texas Chainsaw.
You know what? I pretty much guarantee that's taken.
Yeah, I know.
I bet there's not
probably
much you could come up with 69 that hasn't already been taken.
Yep.
I don't know if I've ever heard a young person say, like, bump, though. So you might have a chance.
And that's all I'll be going up against is 12-year-olds, I imagine, if I'm playing this video game. Right?
Yeah, there's some older people.
Well, technically, isn't it rated M for mature?
Yeah.
So technically, they're not supposed to be playing.
Oh, well, you know how that always stopped us.
Yeah.
I hate that when they ask you on a website, are you sure you were over 18? I mean, what are you going to do?
Right? Not
you
lie.
got to click no if you're not.
There's no workaround whatsoever, actually.
I mean, I remember those days of walking up on an R-rated movie and saying, well, I guess I can't go in, right?
I remember my 18th birthday was the biggest day of my life. I finally got to check out some of those websites.
Absolutely. All right, you bastards. Hey, we found out something. At least I found out. Maybe you guys knew already. We found out what local band's going to play our Infect the River cruise. Uncle Chunk.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
they've been around forever.
They sure have.
I used to gig with Uncle Chunk. Ashley, you were still in grade school when I started gigging with Uncle Chunk here in town. We had some laughs. We actually have an opportunity here for you to jump on the cruise. You mind if I spoil this already, Josh?
We should. I mean, we haven't given away tickets this early in a long time.
It's a good
We're
idea.
Slacking.
It's a good idea. Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text FLEET, F-L-E-E-T.
It's my favorite kind of enema. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, look it up.
I'm good.
I thought you were going to say his favorite type of farm.
I got
It is my favorite type of fun.
I got to find out what he's talking about. Text FLEET to 651-989-9393 for a shot to win tickets to our 93X Rock the River Cruise or Infect the River Cruise, whichever title you want to hang on it. It's coming up Friday. Well, it'll be next Friday.
Next Friday, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, no, I mean, I knew it wasn't this Friday, but it just dawned on me that we got a week. Next Friday, September 22nd, we get on the boat over there in St. Paul, right?
Yeah.
Thanks to Paddleford River Boats. They're setting it up. Free food from Lucky's 13 Pub. and live music from Uncle F Me Runnin' Chunk.
I'm glad you mentioned the St. Paul thing. Some people have been texting in saying, wait a minute, the confirmation I got when I bought tickets has 2 different locations. Yeah, it's the St. Paul one.
Yep.
Not the Stillwater one. So hopefully we can get that fixed. Did you ever hear back, Dana?
I did, yeah. So they're working on that, and found out about our massive guest list that we get. We each get a +1.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, that's not happening.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to need a second boat.
You just have like one of those little boats on the side. You could be like VIP.
Like they realized this was our idea, right? We came up with this whole thing.
Don't kill the messenger. But yes, I agree.
So, a saline enema. That's the way you like to go?
Fleet. Yeah. Fleet enema. It'll work. Try it out.
Okay.
So now we got everything covered. The food, the this, the that, even the live band. We know who the live... And the only question now is how many songs do Josh and I get to play
All of them.
with the live band?
Can you imagine these guys practice and practice and practice, and then these 2 idiots show up and say, well, I guess you guys go ahead.
Yep. We'll take it from here, boys.
Why are we even here?
It'll be a hell of a deal. And good luck on those tickets. All right, I suppose we can duck under for a few minutes and come back at you. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. We'll be right back.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
It's time for kickoff, and the Believe podcast will get you ready for the new season.
If you don't dominate in the running game, you won't win this football game.
Believe has podcasts covering all 32 professional teams and many of your favorite college teams, too.
He was always kind of one step ahead of everybody.
Sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone.
He's been such a part of the fabric of this team, so closely associated with the city, with championship-level football.
Search BLEAV podcasts wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right. Let's get the stupid news cooking over here, Cubby, now that we smoked that fat joint.
So fat, so good. I'm so elevated. High, that's what you say. I'm so high right now.
It tasted good, didn't it?
Yeah. That was good. That was a nice mix of, what's it? Aspartame, stevia. Are those some of the strains, Wapple?
No, not at all.
Oh, no.
Sativa and indica.
I told you, dude. I said, it don't matter what's in it. Smoke it. And we smoked the fat joint. Now we're ready for the stupid news. Oh. I remember this effing guy right here. Oh, boy. This guy's trouble. We talked about this wacky prick before, so I guess more or less, this is a stupid news update, so pass that on to the other boys in the warehouse. It's a stupid news update. Maybe if you have an intercom system, maybe switch on the intercom system real quick and make an announcement that just say stupid news update. I'll give you a minute.
Might not be the greatest idea until you know the story, for the record.
Well, I just want folks to know that it's an update.
Yeah, I hear you.
If you're working with a CB, Citizens Band is what that stands for. If you're working with a CB, maybe pass it along to the other drivers before I get started. I'll give you a minute.
Again, I caution you. In case a boss tunes in or something.
Do all of you remember the story of the grown-ass man who broke into a daycare center and pretended to be a baby?
Yeah.
Yes.
The grown-ass man baby routine. The update is that he's been indicted on a burglary charge for his little adventure. So some of you might not remember. So I'm going to give her. Here's the story. In a town called Clarkson, New York, this effing guy, he broke smooth into a daycare center a handful of times. He stole some diapers. He stole some formula. He left behind wacky notes for the staff to read so they could have reoccurring nightmares. He's a 66-year-old man now. Daniel Sealer is the name he goes by. He was arrested back on February 18th of this year. Seems like longer ago than that when we were talking about, but it was just February. Cops caught him running out of the daycare joint. Picture that, a 66-year-old man trying to outrun the cops with a big fat diaper hanging off his ass and a pacifier in his yapper. Some of the creepy things he was doing. Well, he left notes, I was telling you about. He left money. In the notes, he asked the staff for adult-sized diapers, bras, and dresses for him to wear. And he left the money to pay for it. So, hey, I could use some bigger diapers. I could use a bra for my boobs. Here's some money. Go ahead. Go out and buy some of that for me. He wrote that he liked to play around as a baby girl character named Baby Danielle.
What do you think of that name, Wobble?
It's a horrible name. Worst name ever.
There was surveillance video of old Mr. Sealer taping several diapers together to make a bigger one to fit his ass.
Oh.
And then he would put on his Franken diaper that he made, and then he ran out of the building. Baby Danielle has admitted to her crimes. She says she's just a little baby girl that's working through an addiction.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Working through something.
I hope this little baby gets some help. That is something. Can you imagine? He might be somebody's grandpa.
Oh, gosh, yeah, that's weird. That puts a weird spin on it.
Grandpa made a duty? Did Grandpa make a duty? I'd play along with that.
Nick, burp your grandpa.
I'd play along with that out of respect for my elders.
That's lost on today's youth, isn't it?
It absolutely is. I'm going to show that there's still such a thing as respect for my elders. If my grandpa wants to be a baby named Danielle, by God, I'm in.
Grandpa's a little colicky.
I'll put him in the bathtub.
Do
We'll
something.
get a hot bath running for Grandpa. We'll get rid of that colic.
Grandpa's got some diaper rash.
Oh, where was that now? That was here in America that was happening. Now we're going over to England. They're in a panic over in England over inappropriate things being exposed to the young people. Legitimate young people, not near 70-year-old men pretending to be babies. Legitimate young people. From what I can understand here, parents, they go out to the grocery and they buy up bags of Paw Patrol snacks for the kids. Adorable puppies that fight crime, I believe. That's the gimmick. That's the route they take with the Paw Patrol.
Yeah, it's a popular show.
Cartoon television program.
My niece is obsessed.
Yeah,
I've spent
every
a lot
kid
of
went through a stage.
I've spent a lot of money on Paw Patrol merchandise and gifts over the years.
Yeah, I know way too many about them and like their roles. Chase, Marshall.
Paw Patrol.
Is Chase the cop?
Yes.
Yeah. Marshall's the fire marshal.
Yes.
The kids want to eat snacks brought to you by the gang at Paw Patrol. And their parents are buying them these little bags of, whatever they are, cookies, whatever the hell. Here's the problem. Folks out there in England, they went and bought up the Paw Patrol snacks. And on the bag of snacks, there's a website you can dial up. The problem is, if you go to that website, it's porno!
No
Whoopsie.
way.
It's porno!
Oh.
Paw Patrol style porn, or are we talking regular porn?
You're looking for doggy style and whatnot?
Oh, what if it was like animated Paw Patrol? No.
It's just regular people porn.
That's awful. Paw Patrol is so big. Oh my God.
Yay, Mom, a website. Turn on the website while I eat my Paw Patrol snacks. And then, so now the big supermarkets over there. The big supermarkets over there are recalling the hell out of all their Paw Patrol snacks before the kids get hooked on MILF porn or anything like that.
That's some snacks. That's some porn. That sounds great.
Yeah, all the adults start buying all the Paw Patrol snacks.
Send them over my way.
Yeah, it would have to be something you could eat with one hand, I'd imagine.
Of course.
What would be your porn snack?
Oh, I don't know.
Not something like Cheetos.
No.
Doritos. No.
So in college, the guys, the seniors in our dorm, they would have a porn and spaghetti and meatball night every Friday. And so our dorm was, each floor was a class, right? So on the top floor were the seniors, and the whole floor would go into this one guy's dorm room, and a dorm is the size of a closet.
Yeah.
And you got the whole floor in there with spaghetti and meatballs watching pornography.
That sounds like a true bonding moment right there.
It was a popular event amongst those guys.
God damn, I could eat through anything when I was that age.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to check this out, Cubby, on that subject. Last night, I'm trying to eat some fish sticks. I love fish sticks.
Oh, like in your mouth?
Put them in my mouth.
Yeah.
Last night, I'm eating some fish sticks, and I'm dipping it in that tartar sauce.
I love
And
that
while
stuff.
I'm in the process of doing that, a buddy of mine decides to tell me about some blow bang video he saw on Pornhub the other night.
That's not cool.
No,
Yes.
he's noticing what you're eating. Come on,
No,
man.
he's disrespectful.
I love tartar sauce.
I do too.
Dana, do you like that? I know you're not a condiment
No,
guy.
I don't do tartar
Not even
sauce.
tartar sauce.
Wow.
Oh, it's good.
I only like just a tiny little bit.
Just
Don't
a
get
touch.
me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Here's a video that social media dorks have been all over. A cop, we're still in stupid England here. A cop in England, she had to go ahead and commandeer a kid's bicycle to chase down an effing burglar. Boy, Cubby, when you were 7 or 8 years old, I bet you would have thought that was pretty effing cool.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I'll tell you this much, though.
You got a heck of a story for your buddies. Your bike solved a crime.
Yeah, but if it were me, the cop wouldn't have caught the bad guy on my garbage bicycle that my cheap-ass parents bought.
The chain would have broke.
Garbage. Josh and I hate you rich pricks that got everything you wanted when you were kids. All three of you.
The bike I had was so old. It was like a hand-me-down, and it had a banana seat, and it had big ape hangers on it. And at the time, the ape hangers didn't seem cool. Now I appreciate it.
It was garbage.
Yeah, I had a cool bike.
I think the cop would just say, you know what? F it, I'm on foot. I'm not riding that. That's embarrassing, kid.
So a cop runs up. Let me see if I can piece this together for you. Well, first things first, back to if this would have happened to us when we were kids. I know what I would have been thinking if I would have let a cop commandeer my bicycle to fight crime for a handful of minutes. I would have thought, this is going to get me out of a minor consumption ticket in about 7 or 8 years. You know what I mean? I know how to play the game. So the story is cops in... Oh, my damn, Josh, did you catch this? It says here, cops were chasing down a burglar in a neighborhood called the White Lion Walk area.
How cool would that be to live there?
The White Lion. This was last Friday night. A quick-thinking cop spotted a little kid on a bicycle and asked him to borrow it during this pursuit. The police officer's name is Harriet Taylor. She asked the kid, "Can I borrow your bike? I'll bring it right back to you." The kid agreed, and there he watched as Officer Taylor took off on his bicycle. A little kid's bicycle. It's built for someone half her size, but she takes off on it.
She looked like she was having the time of her life.
Yeah.
There is apparently video of this gal pedaling her ass sideways on this ridiculous little effing bicycle.
That's up on 93x.com.
There you go. And I guess she caught the prick, the burglar.
So you hear cops say halt, right, when they're chasing after someone. At least in the old days, it seemed like in TV and movies they'd say halt. If you're a cop, you're chasing someone on White Lion Walk, what do you say, Nick, instead of halt?
You say wait.
That would be weird if the cop said the love line in there. I've never had a chance to love you. But you know, it might be a good strategy. Maybe the crook gets confused, turns around. Wait, what did you say? Love me.
There just haven't been too many pop rock songs as catchy as Wait by White Lion. I think I could count them on one hand. This gal, cop, Officer Taylor, she returned the bike to the boy, posed for a picture with him, and now this little peckerhead kid is being hailed in the neighborhood as a hero.
That is pretty cool. Here we go. I love this. And I'd be disappointed if it didn't happen. Anytime we mention White Lion, there's a guy out there who has bad taste in music.
Yeah.
Because he says that their cover of Radar Love is no good. Calls it garbage.
You must not know anything at all about music.
That is an incredible cover. They did such a good job on that song.
So, dude, you wouldn't know a good song if Josh and I were beating you over the head with it.
I love this guy. Anytime we talk about it, comes in. That's the first thing I do is I check text.
I'm scrolling back, and he has had that take quite often.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, I'm not being sarcastic.
No.
I look forward to it. It's one of my favorite things.
Oh, I see it now. I know this guy.
Oh, you know him personally?
I should restate that. I don't know him personally, and I don't want to. But I recognize his number. He just likes to be a dick just to be a dick, and I appreciate him for that.
Me too. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
This is his thing. Don't change. Dude with a couple of sevens in your number, don't change. We love the bit. If it was anybody else, I'd be mad.
And you know, Dana, this started before you got here.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
so he's been
doing this for. Thank you for listening for so long. But yeah, he's been busting our balls about a lot of different things, but especially White Lion's cover of Radar Love for a long time.
There's an art to being a dick like this. It seems like this guy's got it perfected.
Oh, he's awesome. He's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, is anyone in their right mind? Have you heard the guitar solo and the drum solo in that song?
It's awesome.
All right, in closing, this little smart-mouthed kid who borrowed the cops his bicycle, the cops have been joking around saying that the kid can borrow a police car whenever he needs it.
I mean, do I dare play it?
You don't have to play it.
I'm
going to do it. I'm just going to do it this style.
But you do it so well.
From start to finish.
We still might have to play.
Yeah, we just got flagged for licensed music.
Yeah, too good.
See, now I'm getting text messages now that are legitimately pissing me off. I thought you didn't like condiments, but yet you had some. I had a little bit of tartar sauce. I'm not running around town like you idiots with ketchup on your hot dog like a friggin' 4-year-old. I can have some tartar sauce if I want to, a little bit, just a tiny little bit. And then my buddy's telling me stories about a Sasha Grey porn, and it ruined my meal. This is not the morning to mess with me. No more speed, I'm almost there. Gotta keep moving, I gotta take care. Here's the damn deal now. I got something else here for you. A guy in Adelaide, how do you call it again? Australia. He stole one of those scissor lift effing things, and he got busted while he was cruising in it or on it. He was cruising down the main strip in town where all the party bars and the cool nightclubs are. He was effing drunk. It was 4 o'clock in the godforsaken AM. And that's not good, but I'll be damned. I want to drive a scissor lift, too.
Me, too. Have you ever thought of renting one for any purpose?
No. I didn't know you could rent a scissor lift.
Oh, you sure can.
Absolutely.
Trimming trees, painting houses.
Yeah, putting up Christmas lights, whatever. Name something high, you can do it.
I didn't know you could rent a scissor lift. I want to drive. Can someone in our listening audience hook us up with a scissor lift?
Yeah, so basically what he's saying is Scissor me, Daddy.
Oh, scissor me timbers.
I want to drive one around for a little while. I'll be sober at first. I won't steal it. This guy I'm telling you about in Australia, he stole it. It'll just be, just in case you own a scissor lift and you want to loan it to me, it'll just be me, Josh, and a few fly honeys of our choosing up on that thing. That's what I want to do. Here's the story about this thief. At about 4 a.m., cops sitting in an office somewhere staring at surveillance cameras, you know, making sure that everything's A-OK in town. They spotted this derelict, drunk 26-year-old dude driving the scissor lift down a place called Hindley Street. That's the main party strip in town. Kind of like Main Street Hopkins without all the crystal meth addicts hanging around.
Well, they've got that Raspberry Festival. It's pretty fun, right? That's Hopkins, isn't it? Have you ever been to that thing? Yeah. I enjoy the Raspberry Festival.
Cubby's the best partner in town. He knows how to play the game, doesn't he? I talked about the meth addicts. Josh is like, Raspberry Festival is very nice.
Well, a little yin and yang, you know?
I'm busting balls. I used to live in Hopkins. I had a great time in Hopkins. We used to play softball in their silly Raspberry Festival softball tournament. We won that bitch a couple of times. They're still talking about us.
Hey, there's some nice people in the listening audience saying that part of their job has scissor lifts, and they're letting us, or offering us to come out there and try one out. That'd be great.
I'm not coming out there. Bring it to my house. Josh said. You don't like to go anywhere? That's very nice of you to offer your scissor lift.
Oh, this person has 2, and they said we could race.
Oh, that would be fun.
That'd be so cool.
Well, tell us, how fast does a scissor lift go?
I saw somebody say 7 miles per hour.
7?
Mm-hmm. All right, the Radar Love guy got back to us. Okay?
What's he want now?
He sent us an image of a scissor lift and said, here you go. Oh, am I still a dick?
So he has access to a scissor lift.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, we're not borrowing yours, dude. Not until you take back what you said about Radar Love by Stinkin' White Lion.
He's going to like that song someday.
You know who else hated that song?
Who's that?
Pillow Fight.
Are you serious?
Our old buddy Pillow Fight.
Well, he's kind of snooty.
Yes, he is. He's kind of a music snob.
Yeah.
He and I were cruising in my 77 Bonneville many years ago, me and Pillow Fight. You know, all earthy and barefoot like he is. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And
we should mention how he got his nickname.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that.
Because his hair looks like he's fresh from a pillow fight.
Oh.
He also used to walk around barefoot.
Yeah.
And I don't mean in the building. I mean everywhere.
That was just his thing?
I don't know. He would take public transportation, and then he'd get dropped off wherever it was, and then he'd walk around barefoot the rest of the place.
That is disgusting. I would not speak to that man.
Grounding.
Oh, he was incredibly funny, though. Surprisingly funny.
This has got
the
to
only
be
thing that would help.
25 years ago. Me and Pillow Fight are cruising in my 77 Bonneville. He's barefoot. He smells like incense. His hair is a mess. And he had no idea that White Lion had covered Golden Earring with the song Radar Love. And, of course, I had the cassette cranking in my 77 Bonneville. And when he heard it came on, he wanted to punch me in the mouth. He hated it. And I told him he was a stupid idiot.
I bet he secretly liked it, but that would be against his brand.
Right.
He can't like a White Lion song.
No. This dude, drunk on the scissor lift, he blew a .13 skis, and he was charged with this and that and drunk driving and everything. The dumb bastard's going to have his driver's license revoked for the next 6 months for this bit. So he did it all wrong. We'll do it right. You give us access to a scissor lift, me and Josh will do it right. Just the two of us, and like I said, a few fly honeys of our choosing.
Here we go. Works in the same building as Josh Jesus. He said, I work in the same building as you. We have 4 here. Swing on down.
Here? Where?
Yeah, I want to know which place you work in.
What are you talking about?
We got to meet
in the garage?
This is a big building.
It is a big building.
All right, swing over. Yeah, there's a dude in this building who has access to 4 scissor lift.
Yeah.
Liftises. All right, we'll swing over some after 9, but not after 9:30 because we go home.
You have a window.
You have between 9 and 9:30 to get our attention on these scissors. After that, I'm going home.
I love how demanding we are with a massive favor we're asking.
Well, if he's in the friggin' building, it's not that big. It's not like he's coming over from Hopkins with all the meth heads.
Have you guys been to the Raspberry Festival? Honestly, though, it's a good time.
You love the Raspberry?
It's great.
Heard about it.
Imagine trying to get out of Hopkins on a scissor lift and all the meth heads hanging off of it.
Woo! Holland, your Wood Jesus has one that goes 80 feet in the air. Waffle, you could never do that.
I'm out.
That sounds so scary.
You guys can have all the fun on these scissor lifts you want. I'm just going to watch from afar.
Who was that speaking?
That was Waffle.
That was Andrew Waffle.
Yep.
Long time employee.
Come on, Wapple. If I can get on a scissor lift, you can get on a scissor lift.
I mean, I could get on it.
Well, you know what I mean. We're going as high as it can go.
I got on one once for a radio stunt, now that I think about it. It was a charity food drive, and it was for every 100 pounds, I got lowered down another 5 or 10 feet or something, so... It was.
They were going to leave you up there.
Yeah,
folks didn't.
And folks weren't donating food. And
I love radio.
Yeah, exactly. It was wacky.
I've been on one just because my dad's in construction, but it was such a long time ago. I don't remember the joy.
I'm sure it is fun. Here's somebody that recommends we do some scissor lift jousting.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be sweet.
If I can make it up there, you can too, Wample. All right, what do we got? Oh, we got some time. We got a few minutes left. I thought we were running late.
There's this funny video.
Here we go.
I would pull the audio, but I think he swears a lot in it. But this guy, he takes a scissor lift and he goes to the liquor store when he's on break from work. And he takes it to go pick up a case, and he's hammered. And the cop's like, hey, get on down from there. And he's like, no. And he goes up higher in the scissor lift, and he's like, get back here.
Yeah, I watched that one time.
Yeah,
that's
I know
fun.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
I think I know the guy. Here's a clever move. Too bad it was all caught on camera. In Ohio, a dude walked on into his neighborhood Ace effing hardware store, and he used a hedge clipper to cut off his little electronic ankle monitor thingy thing.
Maybe he thought that it was an out-of-the-way spot, that he could just come in, and we have hedge clippers. The other stores in the plaza do not have them. And we were the helpful hardware folks with the hedge clippers. Yes, we were.
That's cute. That's their motto over there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The helpful hardware folks.
I was just at one over the weekend, and they are helpful. They are helpful, that's for sure.
They have like a smell, too. Like a distinct smell. When you walk in that store, it's like, yep, I'm here.
It's comforting.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how knowledgeable they all are. You're like, I need zip ties. Oh, that's aisle 7 right down there to the right, 3 shelves in, lower level. And they know exactly where everything is at all times.
You know, have you ever tried to ask somebody in this building a question about something they should know? It's not the same experience.
No, it's
Nobody has any clue. You kind of get this. Not my job. You get a little bit of that.
Didn't you go ask that person?
Man, now I got to tell my hardware store story. It wasn't at an Ace or any of the smaller joints. It was at a big, fat, what do they call it, a big box store?
Yeah.
Is that what they call those joints? Anyway, it was one of those, and I was looking for lag bolts. And normally I just wander around until I bump into whatever I'm looking for. But in this case, there was a young kid with his jacket on, making it obvious that he worked at the joint. And he was standing near the entrance, so I figured, F it. I'll cut to the chase. I'll ask this kid what aisle the lag bolts are in. And I'll never forget this as long as I live. I said, hey, can you point me in the direction of the lag bolts? And the kid said, man, I don't even know what the F that means. And it was about the coolest thing I'd heard all day.
Yeah.
At least he's honest.
Yep.
All right, dude, I'm out.
He wanted nothing to do with me or lag bolts.
Hot cocoa, she said, and I don't even know what the F this means. She said, you haven't tried anything until you've tried scissor lips. What does that mean?
Scissor lips.
You're going to have to explain that to me.
No, I don't know what that means either. So this guy walks into Ace Hardware. He's got an ankle monitor on. He was approached by that employee we just heard in the audio. Said he was looking for hedge clippers. She showed him where they were at. He walked out of sight of a surveillance camera. And then a short time later, he placed his little ankle monitor on a shelf. He had cut it off. He grabbed a free bag of popcorn and then he walked smooth out the door. He was last seen grabbing a backpack and riding away on a bicycle. A few minutes later, the employees found the ankle bracelet stashed on the shelf, realized that the dode had used hedge clippers to cut off his monitor. They called the cops. They were told it was not a police matter. Oh, so then they called the parole authority. And they're on the case.
It's a crazy day at Ace Hardware.
Mm-hmm. Not sure what this effing guy with the hedge clippers was involved in to earn that cute ankle bracelet, but I doubt he'll be on the loose for too long. They got a pretty good shot of him in the surveillance video. All right, one more. One more. And then we'll get out the way, and we'll play that drum solo from
White Lion?
Radar Love, yeah. Now, I would imagine if you're going to get involved in the restaurant business, one of the first steps to being noticed is to pick a catchy or interesting name for your joint. For example, there are a lot of food trucks running around nowadays with clever names. I looked some of these up. You ever bought anything, something or another to eat from these joints? Between Two Buns.
No, that's funny.
I like that, though.
Guac and Roll. Josh, Hamburgini. You got the Shrimp Pimp. You got Truck Norris. You got Volkswaffle.
Waffle, don't you go to a lot of those food truck get-togethers? I thought you've done that a few times.
Yeah, once in a while. But the names aren't that creative.
Has anyone tried this? Let's say you sell chocolate treats out of your food truck, chocolate bars, and you're driving around town selling your chocolate, so why not call the vehicle the Hershey Highway?
That's good.
Is that out there?
I'd imagine. There's so many food trucks, I would imagine.
Or what about, most food trucks you see out there are square-shaped, delivery truck-looking vehicles, and you're selling food out of it. Why not call it the Chow Box?
That's nice, yeah. That's creative.
Anyway.
Yeah, I just see one called Hershey Park. So I think Hershey Highway is good to go.
That's how you get to Hershey Park. This here next stupid news story deals with a seafood restaurant on a college campus in Arkansas. Not a food truck, a restaurant called the Crack House, which I think is perfect for a college campus because young people are drawn to, quirky, silly things like that. But the whole story is, of course, some Bible banger types on stupid social media are complaining. And these people must be really effing naive, too, because they're saying that they're concerned that the college kids might think that the Crack House restaurant is an actual establishment that sells crack rocks.
There's not a single kid that thinks that.
Give these kids a little credit. Well, they're not 9 years old. Damn near any young adult knows better than that. What else is happening here? Or, I don't know, maybe the place really does sell crack. I don't know. The dude who runs the Crack House restaurant, a fella by the name of William Ford, he says, all I'm saying with the name is I'm selling addicting food, and that's it. He started his business as a food truck in 20+19, and now here he is opening up his own joint. Good for him. He doesn't seem too worried about the noise on social media. He says, some guy jumped on Facebook and said something is wrong with the community where you can put up a crack house. He responded on Facebook by saying, y'all, we are not selling your children discounted crack. If he was, he said they'd change the name of the joint to the boldest drug dealer in town. But
there's no reasonable person that thinks that he sells crack out of that place.
No. They say here, Cubby, the seafood at the Crack House is so good that folks say it's hard to leave with leftovers. And they've got cute names for some of their menu items, like Crackaroni.
That is cute, yeah.
Crack Puppies. And here's where they ran out of good ideas. Crack fish.
Wow.
We need 3 big ideas for cute names for our food.
Holy Crackerel or something like that.
That's great. That's great, because it started out hot. Yep. One kid in the back's like, Crackaroni! And they said, that's going to work great. Well, we have hush puppies. Let's call them crack puppies. Okay, Ernie, You just earned yourself a day off. And then one more guy says, crack fish.
Just looking around, we've got fish.
No such thing as a bad idea. Toss them up.
Yeah, they said,
that was
all
a
right.
bad idea.
We'll go with it. We'll go with crack fish if you guys are out of decent ideas.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Protection breaks down and time runs out. Down goes Rodgers and the sack for Leonard Floyd. And now Rodgers sits down. A few plays into game one. He's coming out of the game.
Deal with the quarterback real quick. Concerned with his Achilles. MRI is probably going to confirm what we think is already going to happen. So prayers tonight, but it's not good.
Oh, wow. So is the gas bag all done already?
Dude, I cannot believe this.
I can't believe that happened either.
Unbelievable.
A couple articles are saying they suspect he'll be done for the season. Who knows?
Could be career at this point, too.
He has all those like medicine bags and whatever he uses, but maybe he'll come back sooner than they think.
Like it's over already?
It absolutely murdered one of the person I was going against in fantasy football. Murdered their lineup, so I'm pretty psyched about that.
I think it's best if I say nothing about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the safest.
I should say nothing.
But
Too
I
bad
was
the guy got
so
hurt.
excited to hear you say something about it.
Wait till we get off air.
Okay.
I have things to say off air.
Okay.
On air, I should say nothing.
I'll wait.
It's already over. That's what it looks like. What a hell of a way to win a ball game last night for the Jets. A punt return for a touchdown in overtime to beat the Buffalo Bills. The Twins got pumped last night by the Tampa Bay Rays. Our ball clubs here in town are just dirty sluts that allow Tampa clubs to use us in any way they see fit.
Why is that?
I don't know what's happening between our...
What did we do to deserve all this?
But again, the good news is that Cleveland isn't winning ball games lately. The Guardians lost in San Francisco last night. We're going to talk to Dick Bremer in about a half hour about the Twins. I'm excited to talk about, playoff possibilities and whatnot with Dick. They go again with the Rays tonight. It's going to be Joey Ryan on the bump for the Twins, 640 on Bally Sports. Randy Shaver, Dick Bremer, and Janel Klein will be here in a half hour. But don't go nowheres. Cubbies News is coming up next.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
You loved Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now get to know her on Give Them Lala.
I feel like I have friends in this camera.
I know. I love that you're looking at the camera. No, you do have friends.
No, I know.
Anyone
I feel
watching
like they're
you.
all here.
Yes.
We're all just like hanging out. Ocean's very into thumbs up right now. She's like this in her face. Thumbs up. We do it all the time. She loves that face.
I love that. Give one to your friends.
Watch what Lala is talking about on YouTube or search for Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Unfortunate and completely out of character with this whole area. But everyone seems to have a really short fuse lately, so it doesn't take much to get people stressed out.
That's a lot for some grass.
Well, this is a doozy. A South Florida man allegedly held two construction workers at gunpoint out of fear they would destroy his lawn. In the Fort Myers area Thursday, about 9 p.m., two construction workers were leaving work for the night, attaching the trailer to their truck. That's when they said a man walked outside his home and pointed a gun at them because he was afraid they were going to ruin his grass. 62-year-old Timothy DeMars said he would shoot the employees if they damaged his lawn. Upon arrival, deputies reportedly found the loaded gun on the man's garage shelf. His neighbors are shocked things escalated that quickly. He was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
How do you know when you've completely cracked?
I mean,
that's it right there.
I always thought the get off my lawn thing was a joke, but this guy meant it. Holy heck.
F me running.
3 students from Florida's Palmetto Ridge High School reported that a man pointed a gun at them after he drove his truck at their vehicle and forced them into a dead-end street. According to police, 3 juveniles in their car driving to school when a large pickup truck approached them aggressively. The student driver stopped the vehicle and began backing up. The truck continued to aggressively move forward until the student had to stop due to a canal right behind them. The suspect allegedly pointed a gun out the driver's side window. He yelled and cursed at the students, ordering them not to move and to stay in the car. The suspect exited his vehicle and approached the students, still holding the handgun. He repeatedly pointed the gun at them as he continued to yell and curse. One of the students rolled down the window and recognized the 40-year-old anger ball as his neighbor, to which the 40-year-old said, "Oh, my bad, bro," and then quickly drove off.
I spoke with a neighbor who lives close by, and he told me that he was shocked to hear that he could do anything like this. He says Mazziotti's always been a very nice neighbor. So far, 2 of the 3 teens' families have said that they plan on pressing charges.
That's on me. Sorry. Appreciate you. The man was arrested at his home a short time later.
Dang.
Police responded shortly after 10 p.m. Friday after a large-scale chick fight broke out at a bowling alley in Massachusetts. The first officer to arrive at the scene described it in his report as absolute chaos, with 10 to 15 people actively fighting and chairs and bowling balls flying through the air.
Jesus.
Bowling balls, too.
It was all gals?
It was mostly the ones with the bowling balls, those were the ladies.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Usually the ones with the balls are the men, but in this case, it was the ladies.
Can you imagine cracking someone in the yap with a bowling ball?
No, I imagine that sound wouldn't be pleasant.
You could get killed.
Yeah.
A 52-year-old New Jersey woman already accused of slashing a 65-year-old stranger in the face with a kitchen knife in New York City in an unprovoked attack, appeared in court last week and threatened to do the same to the judge if he tried to send her to prison. "I'm going to slash you in the face, too, if you put me in the cell for a long time," she threatened. So right there, she admitted she did it before.
That is awesome.
You know I can do it.
You are brilliant, lady. Absolutely brilliant.
She reportedly reiterated the threat a second time during the hearing, then spent about a minute ranting nonsensically. If convicted, she faces a maximum sentence of 25 years in prison.
That's perfect.
Police in Idaho responded to a call about a naked man walking through downtown Boise, 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. They located the suspect, 36-year-old Jackson Gordon, inside a public building, naked. He was booked on charges of indecent exposure.
I mean, I've heard of sun's out, guns out. I don't know if it applies to hogs.
Nah, you got to keep that in.
Yeah.
Video was circulating of an incident that happened on an EasyJet flight out of London. With the encouragement of passengers, a flight attendant is seen opening an airplane restroom door, and that revealed 2 travelers joining the Mile High Club.
No.
Gross.
And I'll tell you what, the passengers sure got a kick out of it.
Quick!
The couple quickly realized they were exposed. The man, obviously embarrassed, pulled the door shut, but not before a passenger got it on video. It's not clear if anyone was arrested, but police did board the plane after it landed.
Man, that's a pretty loose crowd, huh?
Yeah.
Like an orgy is about to break out.
I mean, he was giving it to her.
Was it from the backside?
Yeah,
kind of?
yeah.
Oh, that's how you do it, yeah.
She was bent over.
That's how I was
the only
taught.
option you got.
What's that?
It's kind of the only option you got.
Well, I think there's other. I could think of a couple other. I'm not even that creative in the bedroom or bathroom in this case. A Pennsylvania tow truck driver believed to be under the influence hit 14 cars early Saturday morning. Police responded to a report of an auto accident at 3 a.m., and it was a doozy. According to police, several callers reported seeing a tow truck, which was towing a car at the time, fleeing the scene after hitting approximately 7 parked cars. Minutes later, police said more callers began seeing the tow truck hit more parked cars, just a half mile east from where the incident began. There, officers attempted to stop the vehicle. Police said the tow truck driver attempted to flee on foot, but was apprehended. The drunken 26-year-old struck at least 14 vehicles during that incident.
Cow.
That dude sucks.
Well, he's creating business for himself. He'll be towing 14 new cars.
Yeah.
An Iowa man whose alleged reckless driving included racing an ambulance while it was on a call was charged with OWI. I wonder if he thought maybe they were racing him legitimately, if he was that drunk.
Yeah.
Police say 25-year-old Jefferson Stack was called in as a reckless driver just before 2 a.m. on the morning in question as he was traveling on a freeway. The reporting party inside an ambulance stated that he was all over the road as he tried to drag race their vehicle while the ambulance was on a call with its lights activated.
That's frightening.
They allege that other vehicles were yielding the right-of-way to their ambulance, but Stack was not. They claimed he appeared impaired or at least distracted as he passed them. After performing poorly on field sobriety tests, he refused a PBT. He was charged with first offense OWI. A 22-year-old man who posted videos of himself street racing in the greater Toronto area and then bragged about getting away didn't get away. He was caught thanks to his social media post. York Regional Police said officers received information about a man posting content on social media that showed him street racing. The driver frequently featured himself racing on public highways, boasting about evading police and bragging about getting away with it.
That's cute.
The suspect's vehicle was also seen with fake license plates that reportedly said "Will Run" and Smurfy.
Smurfy.
Smurfy. Another guy who just couldn't help himself on social media, self-owning, a Florida man behind bars after allegedly flaunting a stolen Mercedes-Benz on social media. 23-year-old Nicholas Coffey was arrested Sunday morning after he was identified as one of two suspects involved in multiple car break-ins in the Deltona area over the weekend. The sheriff's office said Coffey and a second suspect, who were both wearing face coverings and gloves, were caught in the act on a residential security camera. Video surveillance footage at a gas station also allegedly showed Coffey arrive at the business in a Mercedes-Benz, reported stolen about 4:30 a.m. the day before. Images from the gas station footage were circulated, and Coffey was identified as the person in question. Apparently, he had some distinctive face and neck tattoos, so the cops recognized him quite easily. A search of his social media revealed photos of him wearing the clothing seen in the gas station footage and the residential security videos of him stealing the vehicle. And he bragged online about having a new Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, boy. These guys are the best.
Aren't they fun?
Absolutely the best.
Yeah, it's good content. I love that kind of stuff. They just can't help themselves. A former pizzeria owner has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for using over $660,000 in fraudulently obtained pandemic relief funds to buy an alpaca farm.
Okay, you know what? I get it.
59-year-old Dana McIntyre submitted a fraudulent application for a Paycheck Protection Program loan, prosecutors said. He initiated information about the pizzeria's employees and payroll expenses and then falsified a tax form to try and qualify the business for a larger loan amount. After receiving the loan, McIntyre used nearly all the money to buy an alpaca farm in Vermont and 8 alpacas.
Oh, no, he used to run a pizzeria. Now he got an alpaca farm. He's not thinking about making al pizzas, is he?
I hope not.
No.
Would you eat an al pizza,
No.
Ashley? Why wouldn't you eat an al pizza?
Because it's messed up, man.
Give it a try.
He also paid for 2 vehicles and weekly airtime for a cryptocurrency-themed radio show he hosts.
What in the world?
This guy's all over the place.
Yeah, really.
Dana McIntyre capitalized on a national catastrophe and stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from a limited pool of money set aside to help struggling businesses. He bought a farm, he stocked it with alpacas, and he made a fresh start for himself in Vermont. The special agent in charge of the FBI in Boston said during his sentencing, he also was ordered to pay the money back.
As a chairman of the Male Dana Club, I would like to announce that he is out of the club. He's no longer a member.
You're a chairman?
Can you make that ruling just out of nowhere like this?
I'd have to check with Dana Carvey. He's our president, but I feel like he would be on my side on this one.
How in the hell is Dana White not your president?
Yeah. I don't like
you
that
think
guy.
he'd just choke everybody out until he's the president?
And he has, a lot of experience running a profitable company.
That's a good point. Yeah. We'll consider him at the next board meeting.
I don't know. I like this guy. I think you should leave him in. Besides, the whole stealing money thing, but the alpaca farm is cool.
That is cool.
That could come in handy.
Like that?
You can get an alpaca farm, honestly.
I don't know. They're pretty expensive.
No one can get an alpaca farm, honestly?
There's not that many around here. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen alpacas fight? Side note, they fight with their necks. It's pretty cool.
So do giraffes.
Yeah, huh?
Those things get vicious.
Yeah, they do. So do alpacas. It's crazy.
You already established that. Did anyone follow that conversation?
Yeah.
Are you
now
two
I'm picturing an alpaca taking on a giraffe with a neck fight.
Do you want
dude, that sounds sweet.
Do you want to make sure that you establish that alpacas fight with their neck because Wapple tried to establish that? Well, that was odd. Ashley says, alpacas fight with their neck. Wapple said, yes, so do giraffes. And Ashley said, yes, and so do alpacas.
Sorry, I'm excited about it. It's so cool.
And
really had to get that out there.
And Wapple's sitting there going, I didn't know we were arguing about this.
Now I'm picturing a giraffe and an alpaca fighting, and Ashley and Wapple putting money on the fight.
Streaming today on Prime, Kelce, which follows Philadelphia Eagles team captain and all-pro center Jason Kelce through the 2022 season. And that's called Kelce on Prime.
Josh, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If I watch this series, where do I put all the vomit? Jason Kelce plays for the Chiefs?
The Eagles.
And Travis Kelce plays for the Chiefs.
That's correct.
All right. Oh, and Travis Kelce plays for the Chiefs.
Yes, he does.
Oh, and yeah, but Jason Kelce plays for the Eagles.
Yes, correct. You're arguing with yourself.
Oh.
Those NFL commercials where they're, tongue-in-cheek about the season being scripted, they're leaning into that.
Mm-hmm.
The part with the Kelce's and their mom is pretty good. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Where the mom wants to write in the script that she has a romance with Jimmy Garoppolo.
And you immediately got jealous.
Oh, I knew exactly what she was talking about. Yeah, that cracked me up.
Was that the same one when they went over the doinks? They were like, yeah, this time we'll have a field goal and there'll be 8 doinks. And they're like going over, they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, those are good. On FX and Hulu, the season 2 premiere of the docuseries chronicling the purchase and stewardship of Wrexham AFC by 2 Hollywood actors. Welcome to Wrexham. Those actors, of course, are Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds. Debuting on the CW at 8, the sci-fi drama The Swarm, depicting the struggle of humankind against an unknown swarm intelligence that lives in the depths of the sea. The MTV Video Music Awards airs tonight on MTV, VH1, BET, Nickelodeon, and Comedy Central, so you got your choice there. Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Andrew Luck, 34.
What?
We get the great honor to welcome Charlie to the Brotherhood. His dad, subpar sex maker Jesus, said he'll be able to choose his own Jesus name eventually, but for now, he'll be known as Future Poon-Slaying Jesus.
High hopes.
I hope Mom's listening. Happy anniversary to the beautiful Rosalie from Crop Farmer Jesus. Happy birthday to Jiggles Jesus from Santa Jesus. And that's 93X News.
Officially a radio ad. It's mnlottery.com. Remember, you must be officially 18 or older to play the official scratch game of the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Lottery. I'm in.
You're listening to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Traffic is sponsored by Canterbury Park.
The hottest table games and friendliest dealers are at Canterbury Park, open 24/7, 365, so the fun never ends. The casino at Canterbury Park is home to the largest variety of blackjack games in Minnesota.
Come play at the park. Canterbury Park in Shakopee.
There's a crash in Lake Elmo, 94 westbound at Manning Avenue, and it's slow in Coon Rapids, Highway 10 eastbound between Central Avenue and 35W. That's your traffic. This is 93X.
Our Minnesota Twins interview with Dick Bremer is sponsored by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, my little brother's friends won't leave our house. When I was their age, internet with basically no interruptions was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa.
Now through September 21st, new customers can get 1.2 gig internet plus unlimited data for just $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile. Go online, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires PayPal bill and an auto-pay or stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After promo, regular supply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
Minnesota Twins interview on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I thought Bats didn't like the light.
Well, it's nighttime.
Well, the lights of the stadium.
Maybe he has his eyes closed.
I never thought of that.
See, here's the thing about bats and bats. If you carve a bat just properly, you can make it into a steak. And bats are associated with vampires.
Correct.
And you can drive a stake through a vampire and take him out.
Yes, you can. Also, garlic is a great deterrent. And the crucifix.
Van Helsing.
Keith Hernandez there, and I think it's Gary Cohen.
Correct.
Covering the New York Metropolitan games they covered a game here a few days ago. We'll get into that in a minute, because I certainly want to get your opinion on what they were talking about. But let's get everyone rolling here. It's like an old episode of Battle of the Network Stars, really, on Tuesdays around here sometimes. It's like an old episode. Although there'll be no track and field events, but we're star-studded. Please welcome KARE 11 news anchor Randy Shaver. Hello, Randy.
Good morning.
Randy's on the show again today. Multimedia television star Janel Klein.
Good morning.
And Big League Baseball play-by-play all-timer Dick Bremer. Hello, Dick.
Good morning, everybody.
It's star-studded, right, everybody? This is I love this. I love it when we get all three of you.
We're not worthy, as they say.
No, absolutely. And do you remember watching the old Battle of the Network Stars, Dick Bremer?
Yeah, I'd like to think of this group. I'm the Ed Asner of the Battle of the Network Stars.
I think that's the perfect comparison.
Oh, man. I don't think so. I think you're in far better condition than Ed was through the majority of his run. But how about more like a William Shatner type character?
That'd be all right, yeah.
Yeah, that's not so bad. Well, yeah.
Randy, you're Robert Conrad.
Oh, thank you.
Don't you
There you go. There you go.
Knock the battery off my shoulder. Go ahead.
And there's no doubt, Janelle, you are the Farrah Fawcett.
Oh.
Farrah Fawcett, or whoever you want to be. In the audio right there that Josh was playing for you in the intro, the other night at the Mets game, there was a big friggin' bat hanging off the netting at the Mets game. And you heard Gary Cohen and Keith Hernandez talking about that. At least
it was huge.
Now, Dick Bremer, I know you've gone toe-to-toe with possum.
Yes, in Oakland. Yep.
Would it be less or more terrifying for there to be a big old bat hanging nearby while you're trying to call a baseball game?
Yeah, I'd be more worried about the bat, just because they can get from a point A to point B, I think, quicker than a possum can through the air and all that. Now, I don't know where that was. Was that at Citi Field in New York?
I believe
because the Mets were here. Yeah, the Mets were here over the weekend. Gary didn't make the trip, but I didn't hear anything about that.
Yes, I believe this was the series after they. Right, Josh?
It was last Wednesday's game.
Before they came to town, then.
Right. Okay.
Okay. This thing was hideous looking.
Well, all I know is Gary Cohen and Keith Hernandez didn't show up in Minnesota, so I hope they didn't get bitten by the bat.
Oh, they didn't make the trip.
They're sleeping in coffins somewhere.
I mean, I've seen tiny little bats up north. You know, you sit around the campfire, they'll come swooping down, and some of them might try to, get into your hairdo if they're really brave. But this thing looked like it was about the size of a pug or something like that, like a small dog. I didn't like the looks of that, Cubby.
Yeah, outside of a zoo, I've never seen one that large.
A couple years ago, my son was broadcasting games, baseball games in Australia, and we went out to visit him out there, and they had bats that looked like eagles. They were huge.
What?
Oh, my.
Heck no.
Yeah, see, Josh always says, because we get plenty of material from Australia. It's just buck wild over there. Josh always says Australia's loaded with, it's just loaded with things that'll kill you.
They just want to kill you. Everything there wants to kill you.
Everything is so much bigger.
It seems that, well, yeah.
Now, you mean to tell me that a koala bear wants to kill you?
I actually think I've heard that
they
are
kill
not the
more
friendliest
people than
animals.
car accidents.
Yeah, I don't think you can trust them.
Is that a statistical fact?
I don't know. I just made it up.
Yeah, koala bears are not friendly. They are vicious little monsters.
Dick Bremer, I would have said the same thing a few years ago, but then I hear the same stories that Ashley mentioned a minute ago. I hear all these stories about how koala bears are supposed to be so cute, but they'll pull an artery out of your neck and watch you bleed out.
And they lure you in with the cuteness.
Yeah,
it's like Wapple.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
and even kangaroos suck over there. Before you know it, you're going to get one toot in the face.
Yeah, you're right. They're way worse than they are over here.
The kangaroos, they'll tear your guts out for you. Yeah, we just hear terrible stories. What would be the ultimate fear for you, Dick Bremer, as far as critters invading?
Like
it doesn't have to be your broadcast booth. Yeah, it could be your home or your fishing boat or whatever.
Snakes, without question, snakes.
Yeah.
I can't stand them.
Yeah, I'm not a.
That's a pretty common one.
Not a massive fan of those creatures. I even get big bastards in my own yard. Garter snakes. They're fast, too. They're fast. Josh doesn't like spiders. His wife has to his wife has to go after him in the house.
Yeah, when she's not baiting our hooks while fishing, she'll be
Or changing
killing
the tire on your cars.
She baits all the hooks when the two of you go fishing?
Yeah.
What about when you get a catch? Does she take the fish off the hook for you?
She does, yes. Matter of fact.
What do you do exactly when you're fishing?
I complain that I'm not catching anything.
Snacks.
You know, Dick Bremer, we've been getting excited here on the program the last handful of days talking about playoff scenarios and whatnot for the Twins. I hope you don't look at that as any kind of a jinx or anything. Where are you sitting on that topic?
No, it's okay to have fun, right? This is such an exciting time for baseball fans. When the team you're following is doing well in first place with a comfortable lead, and I suspect I wasn't the only one last night. I got home from the Twins game last night. They played one of the worst games of the year last night.
Yeah.
So I sat in my office and watched the Giants beat the Guardians in extra innings. So even though the Twins had a dud of a game, their magic number went down to 11. It's okay to have fun and count it down. That's kind of why we become fans in the first place. And there isn't anything fans can do or broadcasters can do that can or will impact what happens on the field. And this is really, really a fun time to be a Twins fan.
It absolutely is. Yeah, despite their loss last night, Cleveland also lost. And there's still that 7.5 game difference that you mentioned. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about, I think yesterday, wasn't it, Randy Shaver? We were talking about who they might play in the first round. We really got cooking on this.
Trying to figure out what it would look like. I think Brad mentioned if the playoffs were to start today, it would be either Tampa or Seattle, I think is what he said. I don't know all the math or how it all works, but
I want to see this town go crazy again.
Either way, it's going to be a very interesting first series, and the Twins will host, if I have this all figured out right, they will host those 3 games. So.
Right, as many as 3 games, best of 3. It changes on a daily basis. Right now, the Rangers are struggling, although they won last night. The Mariners going through a tough time right now. The Blue Jays don't seem to be able to put anything in terms of an extended winning streak together, so it changes all the time. And I think we learned in 2006, be careful what you wish for because it might come true. I don't know if fans remember 2006. There was a great comeback by the Twins, and then the players came out on the field at the Metrodome and they watched, I think it was Chicago get beat or Detroit get beat, somebody like that. So we didn't have to play the Yankees. We could play the Oakland A's instead of the Yankees. And then the Oakland A's swept the Twins too. So.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. I think it was, Dick, the Kansas City Royals defeating Chicago in that game.
Yeah.
And the Royals were not an impressive ball club that year. I remember that very well. Wow, 2006. Yeah, I mean, I want to see this town go nuts again. I want Twins fans to have, I just have something special happen. It's been so long.
And all it would take would be for the Twins to, get there and then win a playoff series, and then the bandwagon would start rolling. Twins fans are a lot frustrated with the postseason futility, but once this team, wins the series and advances, then the whole region will get turned on again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is there a particular matchup that concerns you more than any other?
Oh, boy. The Rangers looked so good for most of the year, and then the Twins had back-to-back series or, 2 series within a week and a half, and they ended up winning 5 of the 7 games, and the Rangers didn't look very good. I don't know that there's any one team that Twins fans should prefer or be worried about. Just get there, get that first win. It'd be nice for the team to have the games at home in the hopes of winning that series and then go from there. And then you're going to have to beat, if you're going to get to the World Series and win it, you're probably going to have to beat teams like the Braves and the Orioles and, Tampa Bay, they've kind of had the Twins number this year. So to get that first series in, win it, and then everybody you're going to be facing from that point forward is going to be a really good baseball team.
Isn't that something that we're just sitting here asking for? A win.
Right.
Yeah, one step at a time.
And like Dick said, you go from there, then you win a series. And I've been saying it for months. I think this is a year that the Twins break somebody's heart and get that series win. Yeah, I was talking to some buddies last night at the bar, and I said, if it happens to be Baltimore, that let's say the Twins do win a series and then they face Baltimore. Okay, obviously I'm going to be dialed in. This means a lot to me. I've been a Twins fan my whole life. If it happens to be Baltimore that ends the season for the Twins, I can live with that. It's not going to make me happy, but I can live with that. If it happens to be Tampa Bay, who am I missing? If it happens to be Texas or Seattle. But you know what? My blood pressure will skyrocket if it's the Houston Astros. I will likely end up on a gurney if it's the Houston Astros.
Well, and then this should be a good reminder for you. The Twins won the season series against Houston. And if there's a remote chance, but there is a chance, if the Twins can catch Houston in the one-loss record, they would get a bye in the first round because they have the edge in the season series with Houston. And so we're looking forward to the wild card round and the Twins hosting those games. But if they can play really well here in the last 2.5, 3 weeks, and they don't have to pass Houston, they just have to catch them. If Houston wins the division, then the Twins would actually get a bye in the first round.
There you go. And there's still how many games to go? About 20, Dick Bremer?
I think 17 now, something like that. We got 2 more here, and then 4 in Chicago, 3 in Cincinnati, 6 at home, and then 3 in Colorado, whatever that adds up to.
Who was it the other day on the program who was talking about, if we make it to the World Series, we might have to play in a snowstorm? Who brought that up?
I think one of us talked about playing in November.
I think that'd be beautiful, wouldn't it, Dick, to have a snow event during a baseball game? Or would they get the players off the field? They wouldn't. Would they make the players wait until the snow was over?
Well, for the World Series, yeah, you've got to get the games in, right? You can postpone them, I suppose. But I'm picturing this. I've thought about this for quite some time. I think it'd be great if, like, Games 6 and 7 of the World Series overlapped with the deer hunting opener.
Oh, yeah.
And you could have a target field full of people in blaze orange who went deer hunting in the morning and went to a Twins game at night.
And, they just got a garbage beard hanging off their face.
They still got buck blood on their...
They're covered in blood. They smell like beer. That'd be beautiful to have the bucks up on the roofs of the cars as they're pulling into the parking lot.
Sure.
Sure. Well, you're a deer hunter, Dick? Would that interfere with you?
I used to go every year. I haven't gone the last few years, but I've done plenty of deer hunting,
That would be awesome. I remember when Target Field first opened, and there were some cold early season games. Josh, remember the guys with the ice fishing rods?
Yeah, that was awesome.
And those were listeners of this program. We were joking around about there was some early in the season day game in the first year of Target Field, and we had a couple listeners text in and say, hey, we're going to the day game today, and it was only going to be about 37 degrees or something. We said, bring your ice fishing rods, and when you're sitting in your seats, just act like you're jigging.
Right.
And they did, and now you boys put it up on the television. That was a real thrill, because there the guys were sitting in the upper deck, and they had all their heavy, clam fishing suits on, and they were jigging for walleyes there in the upper deck.
That's funny.
That is great. Ah, man. Well, last night's game, now I'm wondering about a couple of players, Dick Bremer. Donovan Solano and Max Kepler. Are they doing okay? They got plunked last night. Did everyone see where Solano got hit?
Yeah, he got hit in the they call it the C-flap, the thing that comes out and protects the jaw. And that was scary. We've had a number of scary things here. Max Kepler got brushed on the fingers by a pitch. Jose Siri, the outstanding young center fielder for the Rays, actually broke his hand getting hit by a pitch last night. He's going to be out for a while. The scariest one we had was, and this was a couple weeks ago, right at Target Field. Christian Vasquez was in the on-deck circle, and a foul ball hit him flush squarely on the bill of his helmet while he was waiting to hit, and that could have been so much worse if it was even a half-inch lower.
That was, and I think
was really scary.
We missed our chance to talk to you after that game happened. That was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen watching a baseball game, that baseball went off of Vasquez, the brim of his batting helmet, as opposed to hitting him square in the nose.
And I've been advocating for years, and nobody listens, or at least Major League Baseball doesn't listen. Why don't we just have them do what they do in Little League? Grab your bat, your batting, weighted donut, your pine tar, all that stuff, and go to the other on-deck circle, even if it's in front of the other team's dugout.
Right.
But if you're looking at the back of the hitter, that will never happen. And I asked Rocco Baldelli about this the next day, and he said, "Yeah, it will make the change after something really horrific happens."
Yeah,
and it did about 15 years ago to a player by the name of Juan Encarnacion. I think he was with the Cardinals at the time, and it happened to him, and it pretty much ended his career. So I think it's a great opportunity for baseball to be proactive and just do what the little leaguers do, and make sure nothing can possibly happen.
Yeah, that was something to see, how close Vasquez came to.
And, of course, everything at Target Field is closer to home plate, right? I mean, the dugouts themselves are really close. So, as a precaution, maybe that's something somebody should consider.
It was equally as, I don't know, maybe amazing is a bit of an overstatement, but to see Solano take that pitch off of the flap that runs along his jawline. That was a very, very close call.
At the very last instant, he turned away.
Yeah.
Or that could have been much worse. I think it was a glancing blow, kind of deflected off that pad, and he was fine. But, boy, you don't want to see that anytime. But, Solano has been such a key guy for the Twins, getting key hits and playing all over the field, all over the infield anyway. So, yeah, the Twins dodged one last night for sure.
I'd like to buy that guy a beer. Solano's been such a key guy all year long. Randy Shaver, when you were playing youth baseball, didn't you have an errant throw hit some old-timer in the forehead or something? What was that story?
I was playing shortstop, and I had 3 throwing errors in the same inning. I hit the shed behind the first baseman, and it was so bad that the mom for the other team was yelling to take me out.
Oh,
dude. Yeah, it was at Dick. It was at Wilson Junior High, and it was a terrible inning for me at shortstop. It was, brutal.
Who was your shortstop idol when you were playing back when you were a kid? Or
Don Kessinger, who played for the Cubs. I was a big Cubs fan, so was.
Who was the third baseman you loved so much?
Santo. Ron Santo was my favorite player growing up.
Third base was already taken by a better arm on your little league team.
I didn't play third base. I was like the shortstop and played a little center field. Yeah.
Man, so your first throw rattled off the equipment shed. Where'd the other two go?
I hit the ground and it skipped by the first baseman.
Okay.
I hit the shed in the air, which was quite a feat because the shed was about 20 feet behind first base.
Oh, wow.
And I forget where the third throw was, but like I said, I was so bad in that inning that one of the moms for the other team was yelling to take me out. So
it's hurtful.
Oh, that sucks. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
One of the scariest things I ever saw at the ballpark. Slow pitch softball, beer league softball. 11 division championships, Dick Bremer, just for the record, me and my fellas. Over at, what the hell was...
Braves have nothing on you.
No, what the hell was the name of that park we played? We played at 2 different parks. Aquila.
In St. Louis Park.
St. Louis Park, and the other one was in Minnetonka, Hopkins Crossroads and Minnetonka Boulevard. Somebody get back to me. Someone text me. What the heck was that name of that park? Hopkins Crossroads and Minnetonka. Anyway... One of my buddies was, he was a legit baseball player. So I mean, when he got a hold of it, it was, especially when we were young, he could rake, and he hooked a line drive foul, and it just so happened, Dick, I probably had already gone 3 for 3 earlier in the game, so I wasn't paying full attention to every at bat. I noticed a young mother with her baby in a stroller come wheeling up to the side of the ballpark, and I'm watching this happen, and she parks the stroller, and about 3 seconds before my buddy rakes this foul ball line drive straight over, she picked her baby up out of the crib and now is holding the child, and the softball 3 seconds later, whoom, into that stroller.
Wow.
Ooh.
It was kind of like when I saved that child at the Saints game.
That was
Josh.
impressive.
Line drive, a child would have certainly been hurt.
And you had to set down some linguine to do it and make that amazing catch.
He's not making this up. We were gifted a spot at the Buca table at the Saints game.
Right along the first baseline.
They put you along the first baseline. So Josh and I are windmilling linguine into our mouths. And here comes a right-handed batter who does not get around on a fastball, and he smokes it right at us, and I made the grab. And I look behind me, and there's a man holding an infant. And he never saw it coming. He heard the smack of the ball on the palm of my hand and then looked up. And he said, God help us, what the hell was that?
I know you don't like to talk about your accomplishments or toot your own horn.
No, I do not.
I'll say it. That was an incredible catch.
Well, thanks, Cubby.
I just can't get over you guys having pasta while watching baseball. It's
so much fun.
Oh, I know, yeah, it sounds great. I've never heard that combo being used before.
Oh, yeah. Nothing like being weighed down for the,
It's so
Put some
hot,
beer on top of that.
It's so good.
I was able to force down about a half a beer after that because we had so much. Tonight at 6:40, Dick, Joe Ryan going to get the start. Randy keeps wanting to know if we're going to, see the Joe Ryan we saw earlier in the year. How's his health and everything?
Well, I think he's pitched a lot better than he had pitched before he went on the injured list. I think that break that he got will probably serve him well. It'll be a good test tonight because the Rays have a really good lineup and are second in the league in runs scored, and they hit home runs, they run on the bases. I mentioned last night was not a good game. The Twins made way too many mistakes, and maybe a reminder that if you're playing the best teams, which the Twins hope to be in the playoffs, they'll be facing good teams. You just can't make base running mistakes, fielding mistakes, pitching mistakes. You've got to be on top of your game, and this will be a good test for Joe tonight as the Twins try to, they've won every series they played in September, and they're going to have to win tonight and tomorrow if they're going to keep that streak going.
Absolutely. The Rays are very, very good. Very, very good.
And they just they're so resilient. They lost their center fielder now for a while, and they'll be just fine. They lost their shortstop Wander Franco because of his off-field turmoil that he may never play for the Rays again. Pitchers blow out their elbows, and it's just like they shrug their shoulders and go, okay, next man in. And they do it better than anybody else, and now they'll have to do it without their center fielder. But, they don't have much of a payroll. Their future in Florida is very much up in doubt, and yet they keep winning every year. And you look at them in the off season, and they had a good year the year before, and then they didn't bring back this guy, and they traded that guy and all that. But it's really a marvel in professional sports that they're able to do what they have done now for quite some time.
Absolutely. It's always an absolute pleasure, Dick Bremer. And we'll be following you tonight, 6:40, Twins and Rays with Joe Ryan on the bump. And I decided something. If this was the 70s and it was the Battle of the Network Stars, you would be our Lee Majors. That's who you would be.
Wow.
Ooh,
He's
wow.
a stud.
Yeah.
$1 million man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, 6,000 maybe, but yeah, I'll play that.
Dick is the $6,000 man.
There
Thanks.
you go.
We'll talk to you next week, Dick.
You got it, everybody.
Thank you very much. Every Tuesday we get Dick
What a guy.
Bremer on the horn at 7:30 to talk about the Twins. And then also Janel stops by. Hi, Janel.
Hi.
What's going on?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Randy Shaver, did this really happen last night with the gas bag?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh
Is
my
that
God.
just how? First of all, I feel sorry for him. I really do. That's terrible to have that happen. What, 5 minutes into the game?
I'm torn up about it too.
No, you're not. I know you're not, but I think it's
killing me.
I'm sad for football. I'm sad for him. It would have been fun to see what he could have done with this team.
Is it officially over? Is he done?
I think so. Yeah,
Did they
I think
say
he blew
Achilles?
out. I think he blew out his Achilles.
Well, his coach seemed to say it's not good yet.
Yeah.
Like an ex-coworker of ours used to say, Cubby, the coach of the Jets says it's not good.
Deal with the quarterback real quick. Concerned with his Achilles. MRI is probably going to confirm what we think is already going to happen. So prayers tonight, but it's not good.
Man, all the hype. I mean, even just his intro. Did you guys see the intro? Yeah.
No, what do you do in the intro?
He's running out to he's the last guy out. He's running out to AC/DC.
9/11.
Laser show, 9/11, carrying an American flag, and then the fourth snap of the game is his Achilles.
He never even got a pass off, did he?
He did one.
He threw one away.
Well, it was incomplete.
And then an incomplete pass.
And that's it.
And a handoff, and
That
then
was it.
It's weird the way he reacted to it though, because he just wasn't standing there and then he sat down. Like, wouldn't you be in much more pain?
He seemed at first like there wasn't too much going on, and
He
then
kind of seemed annoyed.
I think
more than
he's
anything.
he's torn that ankle up so many times. It's just sawdust at this point. You know what I mean? So he probably has felt that sensation so many times. It's old hat to him.
I
can't believe that
sorry.
happened.
It's just too bad. It really is.
Hey, well, the MILF man got to show up though. He got his turn.
See, that was the thing is I was watching the Twins. And then I flip it over to the football game, and I see the MILF man dropping back. And I thought, well, maybe they traded Rodgers at the last minute.
Every mom in the stadium going crazy.
I was happy to see the MILF man.
Yeah, that was cool.
He was sweating it out.
He would probably just like, oh, God, really?
Yeah, really. I'm going to have to play now.
I'm sure he was thinking about updating his Instagram profile or whatever he's going to do on the bench.
Right.
He thought he was going to have a cakewalk season.
Yeah, he's like,
that is the most beloved person on a football team, the backup quarterback. As long as you don't play.
The MILF man thought he was just going to collect a check and go to Cougar night at the nightclubs, in town. There's a bar down the road from my house that has a Cougar night.
Do they really?
Yeah.
On Thursdays? It's always Thursdays.
I don't remember what night it is. But
it's always Thursday.
You've been to
Janelle,
Cougar night?
In 10 to 15 years, you could go, Janelle.
What do you do on Thursday nights?
Well, now I know what I'm going to do.
A leopard print?
Yeah.
At this particular joint, Janelle, in my neighborhood that's got Cougar night, you would be... Fools would drop dead. A friend of mine went there. When they first opened up their Cougar night gimmick, he ran over there and he said he was going to take one for the team. He's going to check out Cougar night and then give everyone a call in case we should run over there. It's half man, half immersing again.
Oh, awesome!
I like to tell a lot of half man, half immersing stories.
As you should.
So half man, half immersing goes over to Cougar night, and then my phone rings an hour later. Oh no, I called him actually. And I said, how's Cougar night going? And he says, it's actually more like Sabretooth, but, it's...
My favorite part of our 4th of July booze cruise this year was hanging out with Mers.
He's one of the greats.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that barely has to do anything, and he's hilarious.
That is true. So the gas bag is more than likely done. The MILF man is in command of the Jets, and they had a very dramatic victory last night.
Yeah, you may see your Joe Flacco. They may go out and sign somebody.
We were just talking about him yesterday.
You might get Joe Flacco back. Who knows?
Right. Just yesterday we were talking about him. I had a listener right away text and say, Joe Flacco's effing phone's going to ring.
It's a short punt. Gibson on the return. Near side. I don't see any flags. And he's going to go. Jets win it. Touchdown. Rookie Xavier Gibson. Game over.
He was my favorite guy on Hard Knocks.
Was he a funny guy?
Yeah, he was just so likable. I'm glad it was him that got that.
What's the name of the guy?
Xavier Gibson.
Xavier.
And they,
so
they set it up at the end where they almost made it seem like, you kind of follow some of these guys, whether or not they're going to make the team or get cut. And they kind of set it up like he was going to get cut, and then they let him on the team. It was a nice moment. So I was glad he got that.
A little bit of a Hollywood twist there.
Yeah, almost like it was scripted. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. What was the name of the show again? Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks.
So there you go. The Jets won that ball game.
Although they are putting an asterisk on that touchdown.
Oh, for God's sake, if you're not...
That wasn't a trip.
Well,
I
even
disagree.
if it was, they still would have made the extra
not a
points
trip.
anyway.
If Jazz Surratt delivering this block on Quentin Morris, and that was the big one. John Perry.
Yeah, it is big, but you got to put an asterisk on it because there's a tripping call that was not made, which would have brought the touchdown back.
Oh,
I disagree.
That would have been like the 27-yard line, though. They would have made it anyway.
The guy was falling, and his legs flew up after he hit the ground.
Sure didn't look intentional.
Yeah, I don't think that was a tripping.
I say if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Football fans on Twitter, or I guess X now, were saying, bring in Tom Brady.
Yep.
There was that discussion. There really was, yeah.
Make me puke. I knew that easy joke would be all over friggin'.
Well, I would wonder how much of it's a joke.
He ain't going to be playing
You
any.
never know.
I have to say that our listening audience, not terribly sympathetic about the gas bag.
I imagine not.
Well, they don't have the same level of empathy as you do for this situation.
They do not, because I've been crying up and down all morning.
Somebody else texted in and said that they expect, just knowing Aaron Rodgers, as the media's come to portray him, he's going to rub some herbs and spices on that Achilles tendon. He'll be right back.
Yeah, some people on stupid social media are wondering how the gas bag is going to rehab, given his suspicions regarding modern medicine. What is he going to get a bucket of that Hayabusa juice or whatever it is and pour it on his leg?
I suppose there's a chance he may never come back to play. He's 39, right?
Yeah, he is.
There's a very good chance.
It's a whole year of rehab. There's a chance that he may not come back.
His shaman will get him back in the game.
Well, he's got a doctor, right? Joe Rogan?
Oh, God.
Another listener texted in and said this is going to play out perfectly. So the gas bag has to sit for a year, and then next year he replaces Kirk Cousins.
Oh, God.
That's not even funny.
That would be kind of exciting.
That would be fun. I want that to happen.
Stop the conspiracy.
Oh, my God.
Wouldn't that be the whole Brett Favre route, too?
It would.
Yes.
Yes, so sure.
That would complete what they call the Favre. Now, I don't know much about memes, but word is Undertaker ref is the first big meme of the 2023 NFL season. Janelle, did you see the Undertaker ref?
I didn't.
You can see it on 93x.com.
Okay, I'm going to go check it out.
In the Washington Commodores game against Arizona, a referee got smoked on the sidelines. He got tangled up with some players. He ended up laid out flat on his back. But then, like the Undertaker, the dead man, rest in peace.
My favorite wrestler. By
Is he
far.
really?
Yeah.
Just like the Undertaker used to do back in his day, the ref sat straight up from the ground and then threw a flag.
Isn't that good, Janelle?
That's so good. What is he doing?
I don't know, but he made it look cool. It did look like somebody had attached a rope to him or something. It was odd.
And he has the whistle in his mouth.
That's a professional.
Right? Yeah.
Heck yeah, it is.
He's tough.
He's just doing his daily sit-ups.
Oh, yeah. His core is strong, that's for sure.
I wish they would show the entire where he fell.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Now, I missed this Sunday. Maybe you guys saw this, and are you freaked out? AI robots were seated throughout the stands at the Dolphins-Chargers game in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Creepy.
Just like this,
Super weird.
it's like the smile bit where they at baseball games they would have people just smiling uncomfortable or just strangely behind home plate to get on television.
That movie was
promote the
really
movie.
good.
That was a good movie.
To promote the movie. Right.
Do you think that they have to ask the people around or tell the people around them what's about to happen? Because
Probably not.
If I was seated next to that, I would freak out.
I wish I would have got a warning over the years as to who I'd be sitting with at ball games. You know what I'm talking about?
That's true. Yeah.
Now, okay, I don't know anything about AI robots. So there they were, sprinkled amongst the live human beings. So my question is, did they move around? Did they get up and walk around? Or they just sat there?
I only saw them sitting there.
Well,
but I didn't see
the
video.
description. It says AI robots roamed amongst the crowd.
Dude, they're walking up and down the stands?
That would be creepy.
That's what this says.
Going into the bathroom, take a robot leak?
Just motor oil everywhere.
And like Josh was saying, the robots were part of a promotion for an upcoming movie called The Creator.
You know who's in that? Is
Undertaker?
Denzel Washington's kid, John David Washington.
I didn't know he had a child
Yeah,
that
he's
was
pretty good.
involved in motion pictures.
The trailer for that movie and pictures of these AI robots are up on 93x.com.
Will there be fembots in the movie?
Oh, the fembots.
I don't know what else is going on around here.
You'll want to see it, Nick, because your favorite actor is in there.
Oh, my favorite actor? Well, Adam Sandler.
There's another one.
Oh, Jim Gaffigan?
Nah, he's a little more redneck.
Are you talking about Billy the cable director? What the hell's his name again?
No.
Larry the Cable Guy?
Danny McBride. You love Danny McBride.
Oh, no. Let me guess. His character's going to say things and not give a rat's ass what he says because I say what's on my mind. I'm Danny McBride. That's what I do. Every character in every movie, every television show I'm ever in, I'm the guy that just says stuff. And I got a mullet and I'm wearing jean shorts. I'm Danny McBride.
I fall for it.
Yeah, me too.
I think he's pretty darn funny.
I like it quite a bit.
I enjoy him.
I want to punch that guy in the face. Every friggin' role he's ever played, he's that guy. I say inappropriate things in inappropriate times.
Would you rather go after Adam Sandler, Jim Gaffigan, or Danny McBride?
Go after? What do you mean?
Like if you had to fight one of them.
Or how about if you had to spend the day with one of them? Which one would you spend the day with? You have to.
Well, from what I understand, when Adam Sandler isn't doing a horrible, horrible movie, he's pretty quiet. Right?
Yeah.
He doesn't say much.
He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, seems like an overall pretty good dude.
So I'll go with Don Callis.
That wasn't on the list.
Janelle, I'm sorry I blew up.
It's okay. I don't even know who that is.
That's a good point.
Lucky you. I just want to choke that friggin' guy. You ever see that movie? What was that absolutely ridiculously stupid movie that Danny McBride and all of his buddies made, and it was completely improv the entire time? There's no way they wrote it.
This is the end.
This is the end.
That movie.
You better not say that ever again, Ashley.
Oh, that's not good.
It is so friggin' stupid. Who are the other guys in that movie?
You got
Franco
everybody.
in there?
Yep, the Franco
Seth
brothers.
Rogen, James
Seth
Franco.
Rogen, James Franco, the skinny kid with glasses, whatever his name
Was
is.
Dave Franco in that? I think he's really funny.
Michael Cera was in it.
Anything with Michael Cera, man.
All that was 2 hours of these snobby, arrogant, young Hollywood guys saying, we're just going to improv our way through this. None of it's going to be funny, and we're still going to get paid $75 million.
They made Michael Cera such a dick in the movie.
I loved it.
He gets slapped by Rihanna.
That and Sausage Party, I came very close to physically tearing the movie screen off of the wall. Janelle, I'm sorry again. It's not my fault.
You never saw Kenny Powers? Did you like Kenny Powers?
I watched one episode, and I wanted to eat my own foot.
Eastbound and Down.
I own
So
those
I
on
could,
DVD.
so I would have to go to the hospital and not have to watch any more of Eastbound and Down, or whatever it was called. Please stop bringing these things up, because I blow up again, and Janelle's sitting over there wondering if I'm going to,
This is the End is available on Netflix.
Is that right?
Yep.
The only thing that's going to calm down Nick is a nice hot dog sandwich.
Extra ketchup.
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Assed Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
There's only one thing that calms me down in these situations. It's usually an Olivia Newton-John song. Maybe Magic, maybe. I don't know.
Sausage Party also available on Netflix.
I got all the hits.
Golden Gophers running back Darius Taylor was named the Big Ten Freshman of the Week yesterday, Randy Shaver, after racking up a pile of yards, 193 yards rushing.
Yeah.
And a touchdown against Eastern Michigan on Saturday.
Yeah. Impressive.
Oh, God, this is going to be good. I feel so much better already. I can feel my heart rate slowing. God, I miss her so much.
Yeah.
It's real. Where are we, Janelle? We're in Xanadu.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
You
no.
son of a bitch.
Yes.
No. Josh, if you want me to have a complete meltdown.
Oh, my God.
All right, fine. You love the turkey Thanksgiving stuff.
Dude, I do. I do so much.
I'm seriously having trouble catching my breath. The friggin' guy, Janelle, comes out onto a stage, sits on a stool with an acoustic guitar, and he says things like turkey, durkey, do, and turkey, durkey, don't. I like turkey with my mom and dad, or whatever he said. And they handed him a mansion. I have nowhere else to go but be with you, Olivia Newton-John. She's going to say it. Hold my hand.
Wait, where's your other hand?
When I was about 7 years old or whatever, I'm trying to think of what year that was. Maybe I was even younger than that. When I saw Olivia Newton-John staring into the camera, staring into my eyes, basically, as I watched her on television, when she sang that song, I Honestly Love You, I believe she was directly talking to me. And it changed my life forever.
You feel better?
I do. Then here comes the next thing.
Bacon, the most beautiful thing on earth. Bacon's the best. Even the frying of bacon sounds like applause. It's like,
That guy likes his food.
Oh, man. I don't know how you can be irritated by that. That's just awesome.
I once went out to a restaurant with my wife and ate some mashed potatoes, and my stomach got a little upset. I ate so much, and my wife said, "Oh, you shouldn't eat mashed potatoes." And then he gets gas on the car ride home. It's a riot, you know. It's a riot. I got nothing else to talk about. I got nothing else. Oh, Randy. It's hot in here.
Did get kind of warm in here.
So there you go, Randy. You've done wonderful work this morning.
Oh, not really.
What do you mean?
Dick Bremer carried the show.
Well,
Janelle's
of course.
the star.
He's great. She's great.
We've been, both of you, all three of you.
Just been riding the coattails.
Well, a little bit. Generally speaking, over the last 15 years or so, yeah, I'd go along with that.
Oh, God. Really?
Wait, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
20? More like 20. Randy, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Thanks, dude. We'll be back here in a minute.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
You loved Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now get to know her on Give Them Lala.
The Gen Zers, they love to be Gen Z, are calling Margot Robbie mid. On what planet is Margot Robbie a mid? Who's judging this? Are women judging it? The people with the forward haircuts?
Yeah. Don't bring my people into this. The people with the foreheads, babe.
We all agree that she's a 10?
Yes. Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right. Yeah, it's 8:30 on the Half-Assed Morning Show. It's been a hell of a day. A hell of a morning. Janel Klein is in studio with us. Janelle, again, I'm sorry about my behavior.
It's okay, Nick.
He gets fired up sometimes.
Yeah, he does.
You're the best, Janelle.
You
So
guys
forgiving.
are the best.
You're so forgiving. All right, let's find out who amongst us is the easiest to make uncomfortable. I think we probably have a pretty good read on. I mean, you never know. You never know until we play out these different scenarios. We're going to find out who amongst us is the easiest to make uncomfortable. And, of course, our listeners can play along. You can always get a hold of us, 651-989-9393. That's our text machine. A recent survey asked the dudes and the ladies if they'd be uncomfortable in a series of situations. And one of them was applying sunscreen to a same-gender friend's back. So, man to man und woman to woman sunscreen application.
Doesn't bother me.
No.
I'd be fine with it.
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah, I figured, Josh, as soon as I heard it. Yep.
I would. I'm not someone who is very comfortable with touch. I'm not a touchy-feely person, and that would make me uncomfortable.
Would you be comfortable just putting it on like a stranger that you like a woman's back, but you don't know her?
No, not at all.
It's the touch part.
Yeah, I just
Ashley.
feel like it's too
intimate.
Yeah, like I shouldn't be doing it or something.
I think even if I asked you, you'd say no, absolutely not, Ashley.
I would pay someone else to do it.
What about the spray kind of sunscreen, Josh? Could you spray my back down for me?
That's different. Well, not yours. Your back is gross.
Pimples.
Like I'd miss because I'd have to turn to the side and squint.
Like you actually sprayed in your own face
Yeah.
somehow.
It has nothing to do with the genders for Josh. It's just the touchy touch part of it.
Yeah.
And I totally get where you're coming from. We both came from a family where no one laid a hand on each other. And I think you know what I mean. Don't get cute with that. There wasn't any hugging or hand-holding, for God's sake. We come from that background. We're not as comfortable with intimate touch as maybe some other folks would be because of our terrible upbringing. But anyway, I would also be uncomfortable applying. Are you, Wapple and Dana, are you guys sure you're not thinking about this a little bit more? I mean, rubbing sunscreen onto your buddy's back.
Yeah, I'd be fine with it.
I've done it before.
Same here.
I would be a little uncomfortable with that. I could gut it out, sure, for a friend.
Yeah, I'd gut it out if somebody really needed it, but the question was, would you be uncomfortable?
Yes.
I certainly would be uncomfortable.
And all of it comes from just this little bit of a resistance to touch. Even with a lady that I didn't know personally, I'd be slightly uncomfortable
I would
with
too.
that. Yeah. 42% of men say that makes them uncomfortable. The idea of applying sunscreen, rubbing it in now on their same gender friend's back. They didn't say, just like Josh and I just got done saying, they didn't say they wouldn't do it, just that it was uncomfortable.
But I will say this. If Nick or Ashley were to ask me, I'd be more comfortable rubbing it on your back, Nick, than I would Ashley.
I can believe that.
By far.
I can believe it. We've known each other. We're best friends. We've known each other for 2 decades, nearly 3 decades. Yeah, absolutely. I would feel much more comfortable putting it on your back than Smashley as well.
Yeah. Janelle, same thing.
I don't know the way to the human resources office in this building, and I don't want to know.
Well, maybe that's going to sound worse than I mean it to. I was going to say, very wholesomely, I would just have to throw it on your back. And then just have you kind of move around and hope that it goes on itself.
Just picture the big handful of
and I mean that in the cleanest way possible.
Yes.
In the most wholesome fashion possible. Possible, I just said. Possible. Only 10% of women would be bothered by spreading some sunscreen on their girlfriend's back. Ashley, you'd be fine throwing some on Janelle on Ashley?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This woman says, I'm a female, and I would run it on a male's back, but not a female's. She wouldn't be comfortable with it. Now, here's the thing. Nick, picture women rubbing sunscreen on each other's backs.
Yes.
Does that do anything for you?
You bet it does.
It does me as well.
Yes.
And that might also be a part of it. Like
yes, my friend,
it doesn't
yes.
seem right that I should be involved in something like this.
All right, I can top I can top smearing sunscreen on a fellow dude. I can. And it goes back to a number of years ago. I foolishly decided to attend one of my brother's powerlifting meets where he and a bunch of other cement heads try to hoist thousands and thousands of pounds over their head. The squat, the deadlift, all that stuff, right? And I don't know why I went Janel Klein, because I was brutally hungover. Oh, did I have a hangover?
You're a supportive brother.
And next thing you know, I'm driving to Wilmer to some gym to watch these buffoons hoist millions of. So there's my brother readying himself for the deadlift. If you know, do you know what that is?
I do.
Okay. And he's got his leotard on, the singlet. Right?
Yeah.
The singlet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it helps keep your body compressed. It's tighter than, it's like a second layer of skin. It's so tight. But he doesn't have the shoulder straps up yet. Like Wapple knows, back when Kurt Angle used to get real pissed, he'd take the shoulder straps down before he would put the angle slam on some. But anyway, so my brother's standing there, and he doesn't have the shoulder straps up, and there's a crowd of people, and I'm just sitting amongst the crowd, and he says, hey, can you come up here and help me with something real quick? And I said, oh, what's that? I need you to rub baby powder all over my shoulder and my back, because that's the only way I can get the shoulder straps up is with a little bit of baby powder up there, or else it tears at his skin. So now here I am I think I was probably like a 33-year-old man, and my twin brother, also 33 years old, and I'm massaging baby powder onto his massive back and shoulders in front of a crowd of people.
That's nice of you.
But you see that at those. I've been to a few of those myself. That's not that uncommon.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That was a common thing to do, and I felt silly. I also once had to help my dad latch his suspenders.
That's a big bonding moment.
Yeah, he hadn't put a shirt. He never puts a shirt on until about 3-4 in the afternoon, so he has no shirt on, and he was like fitting himself for suspenders. I want to see if these fit. So clip them to the back of my pants. He's always got 3/4 inch of ass crack hanging out. I've been through some things, Janelle. All right. Let's continue on with these things and see who's comfortable with what. How many men here? We got how many? 4 of them here? How many of us feel comfortable sharing a bed with a male friend? And for the ladies, also the two of yous. Do you feel comfortable sharing a bed with a female friend?
Yes.
Yeah, I cuddle. Me and my friends cuddle.
No.
I don't cuddle, but I'm fine sharing a bed.
No sharing bed.
I got totally spooned by a buddy years ago. It's not something. Okay, 42% of men feel uncomfortable with that. Only 21% of women feel uncomfortable with the idea of sharing a bed with their same-sex friend. I'm not excited about it, but I've done it.
Yeah, it's probably to the point, like, if there was two beds, me and my friends would decide to sleep in one. Because I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
I would only
Maybe
do
it's
it
a
if it was a
girlfriend.
twin-size bed. Otherwise, what's the point?
We've had to do it in certain situations over my lifetime. We went camping once, and some dudes had to double up because we didn't bring enough tents. We've been in hotel room situations. My beer league hockey team used to travel, and there were certain situations where we might have to crash in the same bed together. Not my favorite thing in the whole world, especially, like I told you, I was violently spooned by a friend of mine. I mean, his leg was draped over the top of me. His arm was kind of around my... He kind of had his hand around my neck.
That sounds hot.
I don't know if we were, if that made us a couple when we woke up the next day or what, but...
Yeah, you guys went to second base for sure.
Back when we were younger guys and, we were in Vegas, a guys trip, couldn't afford our own rooms or anything at that point, so we were all kind of sharing beds and stuff. And I woke up one morning and hadn't quite got my wits about me yet, was pretty hungover, wasn't quite fully awake, and I sensed there was somebody in bed with me. I just instinctively thought it must be my girlfriend, Katie. So I start scratching her back, And my buddy Dylan just jumps out of bed and goes, not Katie, not Katie, not Katie. Don't touch me.
Yeah, how far are we going to go with that?
Oh, man. I had something very similar back in the St. Cloud State days. Very drunk, trying to make it home, walking down the sidewalk. And lucky me, I passed by my brother's house. My brother's house was on the way home from the bar to my place. His place was a shorter walk. And, of course, I knew everyone that lived there. So I told myself, well, I'm too drunk to walk any further. I'll just go crash. Oh, my brother's bed was available because he was incarcerated at the time. So I walk into my brother's bedroom and boom, down onto the bed, out cold. I woke up in the middle of the night, pitch black, not a light anywhere's on in the house. Pitch black. And it was pretty easy to realize that there was someone in bed with me. And I reached out in the complete darkness and I felt this long head of hair. And I said to myself, well, there you go, player.
You did it again.
I don't remember swooning some lady into bed with me, but it must have. And then I realized it was my friend Greg. At one point or another, Greg had gotten into bed with me. I didn't notice. And we were saying, oh, and the story isn't over yet. He then got out of bed, turned the light on, and then urinated all over my brother's stereo.
Oh, yuck.
Before the night was out. I got to watch that.
This is good advice. This person says, here's a tip when you need to share a bed. You take off all your clothes, and then you pile them into a line in the center, so that way nothing weird happens.
Dude, I remember making pillow barricades once when we had to share beds in Chicago, me and a buddy. We made a pillow barricade between the two of us because we couldn't resist, I would imagine. All right, what else here? Oh, we got to take a break here in just a minute, but I think we can get through one more of these. 44% of men are uncomfortable at a gay bar compared to 20% of women.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
I don't know why you'd be uncomfortable there.
That's actually one of the only times I ever closed down a bar. Was at a gay bar. Yep.
That's the only time you've ever closed down a bar?
Well,
I thought you were like a heavy hitter of some sort.
I should say that better. The one time I ever closed down a bar, like in the cities, in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Because usually I get out of there. I don't like to be down there too late. But yeah, I actually had the bartender come over and they were like, "Yeah, it's almost 3 a.m. You guys gotta go."
The gay 90s back in the day, that was like the spot, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody wanted to go there. Is that still popular? I don't go downtown anymore.
Yeah,
it is. Never saw it.
Oh, really? You never did?
No.
Is that the one with the huge penis in the front?
Oh, that would be Josh.
Yeah, that's clearly me.
A huge penis in the front?
I know that there's a place that people go downtown that has a huge penis people can sit on and take pictures.
That's Sex World.
Oh, that's Sex World? I didn't know that.
It travels between Sex World and Gay 90s.
Okay.
It does? Oh. Fascinating.
Or they have two of them and they have another one at Gay 90s.
Well,
I've seen it there.
I would imagine they made... what you're talking about specifically, Ashley, is it not a giant penis with testicles that has a saddle on it?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's like one of those kids rides that you would see out
not
in
a
front
kids
of
ride.
a grocery store.
I know what you mean.
After that,
I would guess they made more than one of those. I would doubt that the gay 90s has to call Sex World and say,
"Hey, really needed for this event."
Well, I mean, I doubt they're saying, "Hey, this is our week for the giant saddled penis. Please have Tony, the maintenance guy, back the trailer up and bring it up."
That'd be great.
Skinny dips and bong rips. Jesus said yes, they have that at the gay 90s.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, we've been jaw-jacking back and forth. Jupiter Jane's here, too. We've been jaw-jacking about what does or does not make us uncomfortable. And we'll get back to the results of this survey, which asked men and women, would you do this? Could you do that? Does that make you uncomfortable? It brings up a BIR story. For many years in a row, my buddies and I would go to Brainerd International Raceway for the NHRA drag races. I haven't gone for the last couple of years. I think I finally might be too old for the gig. But anyway, one of the, if you know BIR and the party scene up there during the drag races, a lot of your time you just spend sitting at your campsite watching vehicles go by. Party, how do you call it, Josh? party buses and things like that, and people on four-wheelers and three-wheelers and motorbikes and everything. So one afternoon, we're sitting at our campsite, and there's some derelict dudes from a different campsite off to our left. And you know how derelict dudes come off. Some girls go whipping by, and some guy's like, yeah, baby, nice ass. Ooh. And the girls kind of look back like, oh, douchebag, and they keep going. The next couple girls on a four-wheeler go by, and the derelicts to our left are like, yeah, I'll give you something to ride. And the girls on the four-wheeler kind of look back as if to say, who do you think you're talking to, dummy? And they keep going. My buddy, who was standing with me, to mock these other derelicts, the next vehicle that went by with women on it, my buddy said, hello, I'd like to make you uncomfortable.
Speaking of automotive and uncomfortable, I just had an experience last week. I was visiting some friends at the car dealership they work at, and one of my other friends walked by, and I said to the guys I was talking to, like, has he been hitting the gym or what? His arms are huge, right? And they made me feel like I said the most ridiculous thing of all time.
Just because you complimented the guy's pipes?
Yeah, like I was coming on to him or something, right? And so I was like, oh, I thought that was okay to do. You know, he looks good. And so later on, that guy had texted me with the arms, right?
Yeah.
And about something else. And I said, hey, by the way, I was talking to the guys, and they made me feel like crap because I would just mention it looked like he went to the gym. He's like, yeah, it's funny you say that. We're at the bar, and we were just talking about it. I'm like, why did this become a thing?
No, I'm so sorry, Josh.
That's not right.
We can't do that. We're not allowed to say something like that.
Tell you what, I'm gonna disrobe here and see if I can get a compliment from Cubby.
Well, welcome to the gun show.
Check this out.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. All right. One of the points in this survey noted that more men than women are uncomfortable applying sunscreen onto a same-sex friend's back. So a guy applying sunscreen to a guy, a girl applying sunscreen to a girl. More men are uncomfortable with that than women, and I'm sure no one's surprised to hear that. I got a great text from Foundry Rat Jesus. He says, oh, I'll apply all the sunscreen to my buddy's back in the shape of a dong.
That's a good bit.
I didn't think of that. That's brilliant.
All right, let's cover the rest of these. Put my clothes back on.
No. You should let them off.
48% of men are uncomfortable crying in front of a male friend. Only 20% of women are uncomfortable crying in front of their girlfriends.
Yeah, I'll cry in front of my friends. I don't like to, but.
Well, if you're going to sit next, if you're uncomfortable seeing another man cry, sort of a different topic here, but if you're a man and you're uncomfortable seeing another man cry, do not watch a Rocky movie or a documentary about the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team with me, because I am going to bust out in tears like a 6-year-old.
Men that are able to cry are hot. The ones that refuse to show any emotion, it's weird.
Well,
yeah. Hello, ladies, right, Wapo? Yeah.
I mean, Wapo has cried in this building before because Josh had a headache. So, how are you missing out on your dream man across the board there? I like you a lot better than I like his landlord. It would make me happy, Ashley, if that means anything to you.
No, I'm good. Thanks, though.
Josh crying in front of another guy? Comfortable with that?
Yeah, I guess I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I mean, unless the guy and I are in a fight and he's beating me, and then I'm crying because of that, I'd be uncomfortable. And I would think I'm losing even more now.
Women are mostly cool with this. Women are mostly cool with all of this stuff compared to dudes. So women are mostly cool with this. Not as many men are cool with saying, I love you, to a male friend.
I say that to my guy friends all the time.
That's weird.
I only did it once, and I was tricked into it.
That is weird. I tell Josh I love him all the time.
Yep, we do that.
But the rest of my friends have not earned that yet.
I used to be really uncomfortable doing that with friends.
Doing what?
Saying I love you, or even hugging. I always thought it was, I don't know, it always made me really uncomfortable. But then I had a friend that was very over the top about it. Like if we would walk away from each other in like the hallway, she'd be like, "Okay, I love you. Like I'll miss you," and that helped me like, I don't know, show affection more.
Yes, to show affection.
I used to not even be able to say it to like my significant others, like in person. I wouldn't be able to like call them handsome or good looking or say I love you. It made me too nervous.
Man.
Now I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Let it rip.
17% of men are uncomfortable. Speaking of hugging, 17% of men are uncomfortable hugging a male friend. Only 5% of women are uncomfortable with that. We're not very huggy people over here, Cubby and I, but I'll dump one or two of them on you once in a while, won't I, Josh?
You will. And, it's not for, like, I'm against it in any way, or it's just, I don't know. It's just there's some, not used to it. Maybe that's what the best way to put it.
I'm starting to, have we ever hugged?
I don't think so.
You and old Cubby over here?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think we have. I think I would remember that.
I don't keep track of those types of things, actually.
Oh, by the way, if you were listening earlier, you'll be happy to know that I just received a text message from the cover of Radar Love by White Line is absolutely effing incredible, Jesus.
Dude, you're totally right.
Yeah. Wow. There's all types out there, but there are 4% of men uncomfortable just going to a restaurant with a dude friend.
Really? What? That's weird. I just did that yesterday.
Have a little bit of confidence.
Yeah,
have a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. I've never
can't even go have a bite to eat with your dude friend.
I even asked for a candle and for them to dim the lights and play some romantic music, and we were at Subway. Dana, I don't think I'd want you to hug me. Simply because I'd feel like a child in your embrace with the size difference between the two of us.
Yeah, you're not much of a hugger. I've noticed that.
But no, that's all it would be with you, is that I would feel silly that I've just been completely enveloped by you.
Just a big man just holding you.
Yeah.
True. That would look silly.
If the two of you ever embrace, I hope that I'm nearby with a boombox so I can play I will be your father figure. Put your tiny hand in mine.
That would be awesome.
I will be. Okay, this will be very difficult for you ladies to guess, but I'm going to give you the opportunity because we got to get the hell out of here. The ladies, Janelle and Ashley, guess, if you can, the only situation where women are more uncomfortable than men. In everything I've mentioned, men are more uncomfortable. The sunscreen bit, the hugging, the saying I love you, the sharing a bed. There's only one situation where women are more uncomfortable than men.
Is it in the bathroom?
Well,
the locker room. Like sports, playing sports or something.
You're both kind of close.
Oh, like undressing in front of each other?
Yeah, like the gym or like...
You're both very close. Those are good guesses. So, before I get there, would the two of you say you're not entirely comfortable with the fully undressing in the locker room in front of other strange women?
I don't care. I used to, but I don't care anymore.
Okay, you don't care, but that was your guess.
You've heard stories about like girls that'll get some plastic surgery and they'll say, hey, check this out, whether it's implants or something like that. They show it to their girlfriends.
You guys are very...
I could never show my dong to my friends.
Well, you don't have to show it to them. What are you talking about?
Like, even if you were changing, like, for a swimming class or something, and they get naked, like, I'd be like, bro, really?
Okay.
I did not need to see that.
You know what, Waffle?
But girls, I feel like, are totally better than
the one time... I love it when you feel things.
They're always showing each other their dongs, aren't they?
Yes.
Well, I understand
What is it with girls?
what Waffle's saying to a certain extent, because I've asked, like, my guy friends before, because I've overheard their conversations. I'm like, have you seen every one of your friends' penises? And they're like, yeah, that's normal.
See, that's a younger generation thing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of my friends'
We
penises.
older guys, we don't play that game.
Despite the
my
begging.
boyfriend's seen all of his friends, and I'm like, what's going on?
I have not seen any of my friends' penises. I will go on record saying
Yeah, you want to see mine?
No, I'm good.
Well, if you were in like high school sports, how did you not? Didn't you have to shower and change together?
Only for a brief period of time did they turn the screws on us for that.
Yeah.
And then you had the option just to go home. But
Dana's mom has seen a lot of Dana's friends' penises.
Oh my God!
Did you guys know that?
Women are always going to be more uncomfortable. Pardon me. Women, I think, have always been and will always be more comfortable in that naked locker room situation than dudes.
I think you have to get to a certain age.
Well, Wapple's no kid. He's in his friggin' 30s.
I feel like I've blown past that age, and I still can't.
I meant for women. Like, I was uncomfortable until a certain age.
Oh, once you bloom.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Because I was like looking around and I'm like, okay, well, I look like a little boy compared to these people. I'm
Did
not
you like
taking
the
my shirt
choice of
off.
words there, Josh?
I did.
Bloom. Yes. But anyway, the ones that you guys were very close, Janelle and Ashley, the one situation where women are more uncomfortable than men was being naked in a changing room. So you're damn near there. 67% of women are uncomfortable being naked in front of other women. 49% of men are uncomfortable being naked in front of other men. You were closer than I even originally assumed. You were damn near spot on with that. Yeah, being in a changing room, locker room, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think Ashley, especially, you nailed it.
Yeah.
I bet it has to do with the fact that women, we're so hard on ourselves and our own bodies that, stripping down in front of like other people that we think their bodies look better. I could see that.
You know, going to the YMCA and whatnot when we were kids, we'd go there and play basketball, 7th grade, 8th grade kids, even through high school. And we just did not understand that D-swinging approach that the older guys had, where they'd just come out the shower and they're just standing dong to dong.
Talking about the weather.
Talking about the Twins game and the weather.
Just waving in the wind.
And what I'll never forget is one evening we were there. This was in high school. And one of our buddies' dads was one of the D-swingers. He's walking all around the locker room having conversations about everything with his dong flapping in the wind. This buddy was not with us, okay? It was a different, 3-4 of my buddies. So we took great pleasure in going to school the next day and saying, hey, to this guy whose dad was walking around naked, hey, did your dad go to the YMCA last night? Well, yeah, he did. And we said, don't you hate that? Like, when you go there, the dudes who walk around naked, and this guy says, oh, God, yeah, I can't stand that. And we said, your dad was doing it last night, dude. He was talking to everybody naked.
He's one of them.
And he was so distant. His buddy was like, no, tell me he doesn't. Yeah, he does.
Well, like Nick says, there's a certain generation where that was nothing. And
yes.
Yeah, you're right. If you go to a gym, you'll see a lot of silver pubes. And you also see, like, guys bending over to put their socks on and their underwear's not on yet. That's a heck of a show.
When I used to go to Lifetime a lot and play basketball, there was this one old dude. He would get out of the shower, and then they had hair dryers by the sink.
No.
And he would use the hair dryer to dry the hair downstairs.
Are you serious?
Yes.
No.
Awesome.
He should have been banned.
That is awesome.
Cyclops Jesus has a message for you, Wapple. He says, it's a good thing you were never at boot camp. 70 penises all at once flying around the room.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm glad I wasn't in boot camp. There's a lot of things I could not do at boot camp.
For a lot of reasons,
Yeah, that's true. The penises would be at the very bottom of your worries.
70 at once.
It's like the old chat roulette. Penis, 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 penis.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
There's my boots. Penis, penis.
We got a bolt. Janel Klein, thank you so damn much.
Thanks, you guys.
Why don't you just come in every day?
I know. I love you guys.
You should. You should.
Quit your stupid job and come in every day.
I wish.
Happy birthday to Eddie at Hustler Equipment. Happy 21st to Lily. And for everyone else, have a group hug with the people you love today. Happy Tuesday.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.